Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are you? Why, thank you.
I'm dead.
Oh my god. Isn't that from an anime? Like, hello, everyone. How are you? Why, thank you.
Don't have a clue.
Yeah, it is.
It's like this weird English thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm Connor.
I'm David.
I'm Al.
And welcome to the Rainy Days Contained Idiots podcast.
Hold up. Before we continue, Alex, are you going by Al now?
It's going in
If you want to be called Al, I'm down for calling you Al. I'll call you Al.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be quite fun for a little nickname.
You know, Al.
Okay, I've got two nicknames now, Alex and Al. There we go. There we go.
Actually, to be fair, at times I call you Alexander a lot, just for shits and giggles.
You rarely say, well, like you say that in like a weird, like jokey fashion sometimes. But,
Like Alexander.
Connor, you have like two for me. You either go David if you're like seriously like interested or curious, and then you just go Dav because you just couldn't care about the rest of the sentence.
I say like Dave though as well. I say Dave.
More Dav than Dave.
Okay, well maybe I missed the V in that sentence.
No, that's the thing. You say Dav with the V.
Dav.
You just don't put the ID at the bottom of it.
Father.
I just imagine like if I were ever like pretend to be caveman, just going Dav.
So how have you guys been this past couple of weeks? Past
good.
couple of weeks.
I'm very thankful that it's not sunny now. So
Yeah.
I can actually like breathe.
That's true. Sorry, you go first, Alex.
It's just now like that's really been it. It's been playing Dragon Ball Legends, looking at silly YouTube videos. That's really been all.
Yeah, more cat videos.
Kinda.
Don't.
Mainly dogs.
What, with the cat videos? Are you gonna put cat people from Doctor Who?
You salty Sander. I'll be back in a minute. You're a jack. You're a jack. You know that? This is why I don't like
Jack
you.
changes? Oh, don't go.
Get out of my goddamn room.
Oh, it's the actual cat. Oh, okay. I thought it was something else.
I was like, don't leave the podcast. We just started.
Ow.
Oh, payback. Wait, what? Did the cat just go for your name?
Mother. Oh.
Oh yeah, David, I was telling Alex this here off the podcast that my sister got me this really cool like air pollen thing that takes all the pollen out of my room so that my hay fever's like better, and my throat is like so like clear right now. I don't feel very phlegmy at all. I feel like I'm able to actually be like everyone else for once.
That's fantastic, Connor, and I heard every single word of that.
Hold on.
About the pollen machine.
Like a wee moment where he's like, I got this, and David is in agony. What?
Yeah, he didn't exactly give me time to say I'm back, but I heard him because my headphones were like off my
did
head.
the cat like whenever you're putting out the cat, did he like just go for your leg?
No, the second you guys were just like talking about cats, he just got up from his sleep and then was like, I want out, and I let him out, and I don't even know what I cut myself on, but something just completely like, I think it was a corner of wood, and it just sliced down the back of my ankle.
It was the borers.
Those little shits.
Jabbed you.
Pardon me, sorry.
Oh,
I'm a mess.
bloody flobs.
Oh, my body's just this useless body.
Also, I thought of like this little cool fun thing we could do for podcasts as well, where we would near the end of podcasts or whatnot, or near the middle of a podcast, we would say, okay, we're going to do a reference now, and someone in the comments has to guess where the reference is from, but like the reference would have to be a sentence and not like one word, because we can't go there, because no one's going to get that.
Connor, how are they going to say
know.
in the comments what it is if like it's already a pre-made video, it's not live?
No, I mean like, yeah, but I'm saying like on the YouTube comments, people can guess what the thing is, the reference.
The thing is though,
and then we could shout them out in the next podcast.
but how will we know who did it first, and if they didn't just skip and get the right answer?
We don't get many comments, David, so the first person that comments...
Our good old buddy Oren, he might just be the constant shout out, because he's our homeboy. You hear that, Oren? We love you, man.
Right, hang on, we're like 5 minutes into this podcast and we haven't even
And we're talking about our
mentioned
main supporter.
Yeah, this is
This is our
it's a
main
podcast.
man,
We could talk.
who we need to meet up
Yeah,
with
Oren's
again.
great.
Because I love that
I
man.
love Oren.
He's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Hmm.
Where is he? Where
Very,
is he from?
very. He's from Derry.
Oh,
Gorgeous boy, I love him.
Yeah. Lots of kisses.
big fans, Oren. Big fans.
Big fans.
You're our cult leader.
This is just escalating.
Right, this is getting too far.
So yeah, last week we said that the next topic was going to be about films, and
Yay!
we're just going to talk about that for a bit, and then talk about whatever else afterwards. But David, since you were the one that suggested films first, would you like to proceed?
Yeah.
I'll give you the red carpet.
Wait, just so you
That's the
know,
carpet.
we're not going to be doing a big history lesson like last stream. We're just going to be
Yeah,
talking
we kind of went about
4
dull.
movies each.
Yeah, four
Yes.
movies each. We'll keep it limited.
I'm gonna go for the first one that came to mind immediately, and it's Chappie.
Do it.
The reason I love
Oh.
Chappie a lot is because it's just the whole idea of... Because I love robots. I just adore robots in all fashions. I don't care when people say they're going to take over the world. Bring it! I love them so they can make me their little
Dory
pets.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Exactly, except don't say that because that's probably going to be racist to a robot or something. I mean, they're going to look up all of our history and all that and all the memes, and they'll be like, "Don't you meme me?"
But I mean, wouldn't they know all our languages? So there's no racism.
what
at
if
all?
we don't say it in the right form and that just triggers them?
Well, I feel like they'd just be like, "I will assist you."
Well,
And
it's
you're like,
just
"Oh,
straight up just vaporize you on the spot. But what I love is that it's a story of just a robot that was made by the police and all. So it was like a battalion kind of robot. They use it as a battering ram. They use it as a human shield kind of thing and all that. And then the first one that is called Chappie, well, it's not called Chappie, but it's called Chappie later on. But that main shell was hit by a rocket, and then he got messed up clearly, as anything would with a rocket launcher to the goddamn torso. And then our main main character, who's like the guy who does the code and all for the robots, he takes the shell. He kind of is like, you know what if we made it sentient in the way of it's like a newborn baby sentient, where it's just a brand new consciousness. It has to relearn everything.
Isn't Hugh Jackman in
Yeah,
that film?
he is. Yeah.
It's full
Don't
Australian.
actually like his character in this because he's a bully.
I think.
But what are you gonna say?
Was it? I'm trying to pronounce her name right. Wasn't Sigourney Weaver in it, or am I fucking?
No, she's
Is
not.
it- Oh,
Wait,
I
no.
swear, no.
Is she?
I think she was.
I don't know. I haven't seen the film, so. I have
Oh,
no
there's a
clue.
sticker over it. I think she's in it. Yeah, I know that jawline.
right over
It
her
actually is,
face.
but I can see her jawline and her chin. I'd never. I analyze that woman. Idolize
Okay.
and analyze, whichever word you want to use. But
Scanning.
that's what I put on aliens. But the guy who does the coding for the robots, he wants to, because when he goes home, he has all these other machines he's built that are all their own personality and all that, but they're kind of programmed in their own kind of slight way. They all have to follow a certain rule and all that. But in this, he takes the shell, makes it work. The machine gets some consciousness, and it is literally like a baby. It's scared of everyone, doesn't know what's going on. Then once it starts learning new stuff, but he has to hide it because he doesn't want the government to know, because then he's in trouble for stealing governmental property. And then he gives it to these other people that are kind of thugs, but they're also what do you call them? Musical artists. They're Diantword
Musicians?
is what they're called. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong,
Oh.
but I actually do enjoy their music somewhat. Like some of the earlier kind of ones. But they look after him. The main girl, she's trying to teach him how to be a child. Teach him how to paint, teach him how to be creative, teach him the rights and wrongs. Meanwhile, her boyfriend is teaching him how to kill, but he says we're putting them to sleep. And the robot thinks, we're putting them to sleep. Okay. So he's super accurate because he's a machine, so he can throw anything. He'll never miss a target. Then they do a heist. Also spoilers, if this is, But,
yeah, probably should have big old spoiler warning at the beginning, but it's okay.
But the Chappie then realizes that he is the bad guy because he throws shurikens at this cop because he just went, go to sleep, and he kept throwing them at him, and he was like, well, please stop killing me. And he was like,
Christ.
then he looked at him and he started thinking like, wait, what's that coming out of you? And then he realized the guy was actually dying. He was like, no, don't die. He started like getting really scared about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is breaking my heart. And then there is also, for anyone who doesn't like seeing dogs get hurt, there is an actual scene where you see Chappie get brought to this area where there's a dog fighting ring and there's just dead dogs everywhere. It's horrible.
Oh jeez. I thought you were going to say for some reason that Chappie turns into a dog and dies.
No. There is actually a scene where he gets abused. He gets left in the street and he gets Molotovs thrown at him and everything, and they call it him toughening up, quotation marks. But I hate seeing it happen because, like, to me, I just see a child being abused and I just don't like that. But
can I guess as well that most of the movies you pick are all robot based?
no,
Fine.
only 2 robots and then another 2.
Ah, okay. I think I know what the second one is, but continue on.
But as well, like, he then understand, like, he evolves quickly, but then Chappie learns how to actually get someone else's consciousness and put that consciousness into a machine. So it's technically cloning, but you know, at least they're not kind of gone.
Clones.
Yeah, basically.
We fight, we win.
What else is there? Then he realizes that, you know, Hugh Jackman was bullying our main man, and then he breaks Hugh Jackman's legs and arms, throws him at ceilings.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ, that escalated
Trust
quickly.
me, when you see it happen, you are terrified. Like, you're just like, I never want that robot to come to me.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Worse than that, you'd prefer freaking Hogbuster punching you in the head.
He's not such a happy chappy, is he?
But then I just love the whole story of how he starts learning for himself. And he starts like realizing that humans aren't the nicest, but he gives them a chance anyway. I would recommend watching it. I don't want to say much more about it. Since I did one robot one, I'll just dive into the next robot one. The Iron Giant, as we all expected.
Yeah, boy.
Love the Iron Giant because
It's fantastic.
when I was a kid, that kind of taught me the big life lesson of, like, the one word that always pops out to this is the one where it says, you are who you choose to be. And that's because, like, when I was a kid, obviously my imagination took it way too far, and I thought, I want to be a werewolf, you know, and all that shit. Like, I'd go...
Are you what traumatized my younger years?
outside your house going, oh, just butt ass naked, just like all fours, just look at your window. But then as I grew up, then I started realizing, like, that meant to me in a way of, like, I always wanted to. I like hearing people laugh. I love the sense of someone just getting that brief amount of joy, apart when they're being sarcastic. And then it just taught me, like, I just love it to bits, the whole movie. And then you found out the behind the scenes of what was happening with the director and his family and everything in the making of this movie. It was so, like, my god, feel for that guy so much, because, like, he was saying how, I think it was his sister who was murdered or something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Jesus.
she was, I believe, murdered by her partner at the time.
Why is it when, like, there's, like, really good animated
There's
films
such a
and, like, the
tragic
backgrounds of
past.
it are, like... Because, like, the All Dogs Go to Heaven movie, the little girl voice actress who was in that movie, her father shot her and killed her. And it's
it was
awful.
the same for The Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Duckies.
I think it's the same actress.
Because he
Well,
didn't
yeah,
like it
it was the
because
same
the daughter
actress.
was the key to fame, and she was getting all the money, and he
Yeah,
wanted to be the one doing it.
he just
All jealousy.
he mentally, like, lost his
Yeah.
mind. Like,
Another thing as well is that it taught you the rights and wrongs of, like, violence, basically, because he didn't want to be a gun, and it kind of taught you as a kid, don't be the bad guy, because
guns are bad.
Yeah, guns very bad. And if you want your kids to know that, Iron Giant, because you can see how it traumatized this robot when his eyes go red. He's like, what the, whoa, did I almost kill you, Hogargar?
If he talked with that.
Oh, another thing I love as well, the DVD I have, because I bought it like 4 times. I have a reason for this, not because I'm, an idiot. Well, I am. But one version of it was an import from Mexico, so it wouldn't work. The other one was just a normal DVD, and I wanted a Blu-ray for the extras. And then I went and I got gifted it a 3rd time, which was a normal DVD, and then I got the signature edition. and on this one it showed the clip where Iron Giant has a dream of his past where it's him and an army of other Iron Giants, and they are just world destroyers. They're just wiping out, and then when the world, that planet explodes, he goes to Earth and bops his head, and that explains his backstory. And when I saw that, but what was really cool was that when he dreamed, he broadcasted that dream to the TVs around the area, so no one understood what the hell was going on. And then Dean wakes up to seeing the Iron Giant's dream, and I was like, oh my god.
Like as well too, like the animation for that film is like fantastic.
So that
the whole
ice cream.
they used like, and even when you look back at it today, like the 3D they used for Iron Giant still looks freaking
it looks
insane.
animated.
Yeah.
Like it looks so well done.
Like
I couldn't get over it.
His rage moment is one of the best rage moments.
Yeah.
Just the way he loses
you know, I don't think any movie will ever make me feel as like, yeah, yo, get him, whenever like, they go fucking battle mode.
Did you do a Black Ops Zombie there? Like
The next movie I'm going to dive into is Scott Pilgrim, because I just
nice.
love
that's a
this
great
movie.
yeah.
I adore the books more, see, that's the thing. I have to explain this real quick, right? When I say books,
I don't.
okay, I know when I say books, it's like BUCKS, alright? But if I go the other way, it's books. I can't pick, okay? It's that you're either getting Scottish or you're getting Buckaroo. That's the only two you're allowed. I cannot form
Books.
the in-between. There's either books or books. You're not getting the other one. It's done. Okay? So when I say
Things
books,
with words
it
in them.
helps. But if I say books, then people think I'm Scottish, which my ancestry test is probably going to come back Scottish, so just give me a break. Anyway, back to the DVD. So the
Yeah, if I did a
the books I have, I love, but the DVD, well, the movie, I love that too, but it's weird because I'm just gonna say books because it's easiest for me.
Yeah, just say whatever, or comic or whatever. I don't know.
Comics.
They can't.
With them, I don't remember them actually talking that, like when they talked about Scott's first love interest, who was Kim,
Wasn't
yeah.
it?
No, wait, no, there was Kim and then there was the other one.
The one that's like, hello,
No, the
again,
Asian one.
friend.
What do you call her?
Oh, nice.
Right, that's it. See, I knew it wasn't a simple name. I had to have something with a sharp object to it. But it dives into Kim, as well as the Wii game that's on the PS3, and I think it's on the is it on the Xbox or is it a PS exclusive?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
But
I think it's on Steam. Actually, I could be wrong.
it does talk more about, like, it goes on the comic side, but it also talks a lot about like Kim and Scott as well. But it's weird because in the movie, obviously in a movie you're limited to what you can show. When it comes to showing about knives, they didn't go as in deep with the comics. They did because it involved the dad, knives, and how they all, like, it's just a shitstorm of shit going on.
Yeah, it's just because as well, because like when you're doing like a comic or whatnot, you have so much more time to develop those characters and to add more story arcs and to like see what's behind the scenes, and that's why people always say the book's better than the movie, because it's obviously going to
has
be
more
better,
time.
but that doesn't mean that the movie is bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, because the Scott Pilgrim movie is directed, like the direction for that movie is fantastic, and I keep on forgetting the director for that movie.
Let me see if I can find
like-
the director. Is it James King?
Because like
No,
I don't think
that's
it
the
is,
guy
no.
who said it was amazing.
it's definitely not. I think he did Baby Driver as well. I'm not sure if I'm thinking of the right director. A lot of people are probably like slapping their face right now. Like, no, it's this guy, you fool.
Director. What
But,
is the director?
His directing's fantastic.
Oh, Edgar Wright.
That's the man. Yeah.
Took me a while to find it. There's so much writing on the back of this thing.
Yeah, I brain farted. So go on anyway about your Scott.
Like, it kind of gets to me because you like with the movie, it just feels like he's with knives, and it's just like kind of a thing for him. He's not actually interested. And then when he sees Ramon, then it's like, all right, buy knives. You know, that's practically what the movie shows in the comics and in the game. It's a bit more lengthy. You know, he kind of, I think he just two times the two of them at the same time and stuff, and just does that.
Yeah, it's funny because like whenever like when you were younger and you'd see Scott Pilgrim, you'd be like, "Ha, Scott's great," and then when you read the comics when you're older, you're like, "Wow, Scott's a dick.
You're like, yeah, you're just like, you don't deserve either of them,
Such an
mister.
asshole.
I don't much approve
Why
of
did I
you,
think I wanted to be like
mister.
you?
I also just love the whole visuals of Scott Pilgrim as well. And of course, I can't end talking about this without mentioning the beautiful Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona Flowers. Hit me up if that marriage goes south, alright? Because I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay, Mr. Playboy.
So the last one I have on my list is one movie that actually made me cry, and it's called Logan.
the only movie that made you cry?
In theater, all right, in theater.
Oh, in theater. Okay.
Right, where you're not meant to because there's many people
to
there.
be fair, I remember when because you watched it with your family first, right?
I can't remember. I think I
believe-
cried both times.
I think you did, because I remember your second time you were watching it with me, and then I almost teared up as well.
Yeah, that's
watching
right.
it.
Actually, yeah.
So I did. Yeah, because I was just like, I was sitting beside you, and I was like, I could feel a tear coming down one of my left eye. I was like, no, it's like that scene in Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs. I'm like, get back in
No,
there,
for
tear.
me it was like the chin quivering, the like the fucking choked up throat, and you're just like, oh my god.
I can't handle that in like movie and TV shows when like someone's lip starts quivering, especially if it's an old man. I'm like,
Like I find out that's actually the
Don't
way
cry.
to make myself like trigger like a fake cry. If I just quiver a lip and I just like believe it enough, I'm just gonna start crying. I'm like, haha, it is me, Dio.
What?
But I love the fact, like everything about this movie. I love the way it was directed, the way it was. His daughter is just a clone. How it just shows Logan, like whenever he admits that he had a silver, like not a silver, an adamantium bullet ready to blow his freaking brains out because he just like couldn't be bothered anymore. And the way he just aged,
And
his like claws wouldn't come out properly and all, just showed how he's gone through years of shit.
it was great too, because that movie then opened up superhero movies to be more than just like PG.
Yeah.
Like to 12 to 13, they made it like more brutal.
Yeah, definitely.
And like somewhat more realistic in quotation marks.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool seeing that side of like the X-Men characters and whatnot. Well, the ones that were there. And
I think it was definitely like a perfect way to end, like X-Men. You know, like just
I thought it was a
boom.
very nice ending to the whole thing. A lot of people, and I know some people don't really like the movie, but like I don't know, I can't really point out, like there probably is flaws to it, but like I just watched that movie just to have a good time and to get
thing
sad.
is though, because when I was because I'm rewatching the animated series and I saw this one bit where the guy goes up to Professor X and he does this weird like sonar thing to Professor X, point blank to his head, and then he starts holding his head because he's in crippling pain and he's like hurting half of the world because of his because he's super strong as a mutant. And then I thought, right, so the old animated show did this, and then they recreated that in Logan by him having, I think it was Alzheimer's, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like
I
or
believe
it
so.
was like
Somewhere
first
along the
stage
lines of that.
dementia or something. Or I think they even said it was like seizures, like epilepsy or something.
No, I think it was a seizure. It was a
And
seizure.
I was just like
that he
sitting
had.
thinking, this, you can't.
That's
like,
me.
Yeah, it's me. And then whenever like Hugh Jackman got to take your medicine, he was like, ah.
His death in the movie was so sad. Like just him in the bed.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing as well.
It's
I have this thing where I would love to be a dad at some point in my life. So when I saw the bit where
Of course.
she was saying "Papa," that fucking killed me. And then the bit where he says the lines, "So this is what it feels like." I thought, no, fuck off, no. And then she
think-
lifts his cross and puts it in the shape of the X-Men. I'm tearing up right now. It's so beautiful.
like I think the scene that got me most was I think because Logan's was sad, but like I got more sad with Xavier, because it was just
Oh
how
yeah, because he's sent in X-24.
like and then it's just the way he's like Logan, and then he just gets stabbed and like no.
Oh no, he
It's
doesn't just say
like the
Logan. He
whole-
opens up to him and everything.
Oh, that's
He has
right.
this huge
yeah, he
heart to
does.
heart with him, and then he says Logan, and he
Yeah.
realizes Logan's younger, and then he just gets immediately stabbed.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
But it's the scene after all that and whatnot with the whole house and the family, and he's burying him, and Logan can't even
Muster the words.
muster words to say like nice things about everything because he's just so hurt, and oh my god. like that was hard to
Gives you
watch.
It is
for me.
goosebumps,
filled
man.
with,
The whole
Yeah.
It's filled with really like funny scenes as well, with X-23 like punching Logan in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Stop hitting me.
One thing that got to
Like,
me as
stop
well
that.
was that what was it? What was it? It was after his fight in the family home with the clone of Wolverine, and then he has to go to like the vet basically because they had no doctors. Oh, not that it was a doctor. It was like a really cheap doctor, and you could just see Logan's entire torso completely like gashed open and like band-aided. Like I was just like, my God, this is just look at it. It just makes you see how he literally is on death's door. Like he can't keep going.
It's real. It's there. You can taste it.
Well, the doctor could taste the blood in the air. He's like, "Fucking Jesus, man! What do you mean about him?"
I wouldn't taste that.
No, yeah, probably
What?
not.
Aluminium
Taste what?
blood. His
The
blood.
animalian blood.
Oh yeah, if you
That would not be
tasted
good.
that shit, that'd be nasty. I mean, you can already taste blood in the air. Reason I'm saying that is because I've been to the doctors multiple times. Okay. It's a very pronounced scent and taste, and like a snake when I go to doctors. I'm like, hey. But that's all my movies.
You'd be like a weird vampire, just like.
Except I'm like, because we're seeing the blood.
I feel like that if they do make another vampire movie, which I'm sure they will, that like I can just imagine now them like sniffing the air like snakes, like they just pull out their tongue, like they have like a snake tongue for some reason.
Ugh.
And then someone goes like,
That'd be
deep
kind of
theory,
creepy, kind of interesting.
and he's
too,
like,
actually.
oh look, it's lizard people.
Wait, what?
It's like someone starts saying like a deep theory about it, being like, this movie was about lizard people. It was not well, I could do the creepypasta guy, but I don't want him copyright striking us for the likeness.
I don't think you will. Like, I mean,
7.
we're not like
The movie about vampires was really about the fact that they were lizard people. Danny actually told me that I should ring up O2 and just start quoting his movies, or like his just open up the phone lines, but like number 7.
Okay, Alex, do you want to talk about your movies now? Your 4 movies?
Alright, my ones are just gonna be kind of the same, almost, like just a wee bit.
Don't you dare.
What? But, we'll start off with, that was very ominous, don't you dare.
He says it's gonna be the same.
No, like, it's not like they're all like this, it's like one franchise.
okay.
Like, no.
Same like genre, you mean, right?
Two of them are the same genre, the other two are like, I guess a different
genre.
Like almost. Right. We'll start off with one that like these two haven't seen this one, and there's probably physically no way I could show them because it was a really old movie. Maybe. It is
It's possible, probably.
you know, it is Terror of Mechagodzilla, which is a movie that was made in the 70s, and it's really old. It was my very first, well, maybe unless I seen like the American one first, not sure, but it was my very first
With
like
the very weird dub, I assume.
yes, unfortunately, on videotape as well, so I had no way to change it.
Ooh.
Did you with the VHS?
And it was obviously my first introduction to the more Japanese Godzilla, and I remember just sitting in my room wondering what even is going on, because if I remember, the first scene of it was what's his name, Titanosaurus, like just wrecking this city, and then you just hear him do this weird laugh. Hang on, let me try to. Like it's something like that, and he's like a weird.
So, would you say then that like this was kind of like your first ever kind of Power Rangers experience?
Yeah, something like a probably. And then he's kind of like a. Have you seen Titanosaurus? He's like a weird like fish version of Godzilla. He's really weird looking.
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think you showed us a clip of like all different types of Godzilla one day.
And
We watched it.
then obviously you see the lightning going off, and you see Godzilla's big dubby head just sticking over the building, and I'm like, who's this? And I hear the and I was like, but then it's weird because later in the movie, because this is a sequel to a movie that came out in 1974, which I obviously needed to watch that to understand what was going on in this one, because in this one there's space monkeys, and I'm like, what's going on? So then I don't know how Mechagodzilla was made, so it was really confusing for me. But then it just it's giant monsters fighting. But then the most jarring thing about it was that whenever I think it was like near the end of the movie, because I really don't remember much of it besides like everyone like giant monsters like space monkeys. And then there was also this like scientist dude that was teaming up with the space monkeys and just trying to like destroy everything and stuff. And there was a moment near the end of the movie where Titanosaurus grabs Godzilla's like snout and just kind of like just like hits him in his tummy, and for some reason Godzilla defies the laws of physics and just flies into the air a little bit, goes back down, lands on his feet. Titanosaurus does it again. He flies up again, and he just keeps doing it. And Mechagodzilla's just standing there. He's not doing anything. You're probably wondering, why is he floating? What is happening? And
when you said like grabbed his nostrils, I just assumed that he'd grab his nostrils and just start decking him in the face while
he's just biting on his nose as he's like punching him. Like just.
Okay. I felt like when you said grabbed his nose, I thought he like grabbed it with his hand. Like yeah.
But then, like obviously I thought like, this guy's buggered. But then he then gets up again. I need to remember this correctly. I think he just sprints towards Godzilla sprints towards one of the monsters, which I think was Titanosaurus, beats the living hell out of him. Like he full goes like, then he throws him. I can't remember, but then I think this is like the first moment where it got very graphic. Well, not really. Where he runs over, he fights Mechagodzilla for a wee bit, and then he rips off his head.
Oh,
and that was probably my first moment of seeing a head falling off. It was a robot doing it.
Meanwhile, the guy inside the actual suit's like, "What'd you do that for?" Now everyone knows it's me.
like they took off the head and you just see like the Japanese guy inside, like hello.
But then there was, his head comes off, but then he has like a weird smaller head inside of his head. But he does this weird I only describe like the wee arm side he does. He kind of has like his arm in front of his chest and like a weird almost salute pose thing, and they just shoots a beam at Godzilla, and Godzilla just fights like because I think the humans also got a wee bit in it, and that would be like the only premise of that movie where it's just like Godzilla being practically bullied for that last wee bit, and then he just beats it, and that's for that one. That's what I remember from it. But now to the one that these two have definitely seen, which was Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is easily my favourite out of all of them so far. Unless Kong vs. Godzilla changes that.
Mine's is Shin Godzilla. I like that one more.
I like the two actually.
Now, this movie has interesting bits in it, although it does have the one factor I didn't like, which was like the humans, fine enough, but it was just the story of why the humans are in it, which was like, they're searching for this guy's family, and it's just like, can you not? Can we just focus on, not just the monster, but like there's a new terrorist group, and it's like, okay, it's like bad humans, fair enough, we've seen that before, and just weird stuff happens, and Godzilla's in it, but the way I love how they did the monsters in it, where they're their own living creatures, but it's just a moment, a controversy of the movie, which makes zero sense, which was the movie is too dark. And I'm going to say this here with the most straightest face I can muster. If you think this movie is too dark and you can't see the monsters, you must actually be blind. You literally must be blind. They are glowing, for crying out loud. Because the movie itself, it had a lot of ups, but there's a couple of downs. Serizawa sacrificing himself is just beautiful, given the fact, in the first movie, he killed Godzilla. So
my bad.
It's like it's a different Serizawa. Although I can't remember her name, but Thingy's deaf to where Ghidorah just chomps on her, which was that was very shocking. Also, I love how the fact that the community has named one of Ghidorah's head. What was it? Oh, bugger! It was like a wee weird funny name they give to one of the Ghidorah heads.
Really?
No,
Was it
was
Kevin?
it? Kevin, that's it. It was like the one, like the one that Godzilla ripped off.
Yeah.
Like that's the one was called Kevin.
Oh, that's very weird.
Yeah, it's adorable. But also the fact that like Ghidorah can regenerate, which is terrifying, but he still loses in the end. What else? Like the human story of it. I'll just quickly go over it. Obviously, it's about the whole family stuff. The main woman character of it. I can't remember her name. Sorry, but not the girl from Stranger Things, but the other one.
Millie Bobby
Oh,
Brown.
you mean the older woman?
Yeah,
The one from I think it's Insidious, and she was no, she wasn't in Insidious. It was I think she was in one episode of Insidious or one movie of Insidious. She was also in Annabelle, and she was in The Conjuring. That was it. And
Still, I it's funny. I've only seen the second Conjuring. I still haven't seen the first one.
I think the first Conjuring was the best, you know.
Yeah, I enjoyed the second one. But go on, Alex, with your Godzilla stuff.
But her reason, like, where she wants to like release all the Titans, like because they're like the natural like rulers. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
but
dickhead.
just but you don't have to. You don't have to doom humanity because your son got stepped on.
That's a good point.
Like,
That is a good point.
Like, well, actually, no. I don't know if it's because of the son getting killed or if it was because
It was primarily that, to be honest.
it was for some reason. Like, I love how I remember this dude's name, Mark, who's like the main other guy.
this
Of
I
it.
mean, it's a pretty common name, to be fair.
Mark.
So if you remember.
But his, I find he doesn't like Titans because his son was killed, which is fair enough. Well, he has a hatred for Godzilla, which is okay.
Yeah, it's specific.
Which didn't,
Like,
yeah, it didn't. Although it didn't really go anywhere, but at least like he knows,
Yeah.
like, right, like they're not that bad.
yeah,
They
he got
kind
over
of
that
help us,
hella
but
quick, didn't he? He didn't really care about that kid.
I mean, come on now, we don't even know who he was. So, but then like you have like the terrorist group, which is led by the guy who did I can't
Game of Thrones?
From Game of Thrones. I can't remember
Yeah.
his name. He was pretty good in it. Don't know what he's going to be like in the new one. Probably not going to be that good, but I don't know. Because I have a wee bit of fears of.
It'd be hilarious if he just got killed in the first like 5 minutes.
Funny thing is, probably gonna
Fun fact about
When they make like the whole like whatever. Well, in that end scene, whenever that thing happens, and then if it comes alive and starts doing shit, and then it might kill him.
fun fact though about King of the Monsters is that probably some fans would know this already, but Jake Peralta's dad is in that movie. Do you remember him now, Connor? The dad in the movie?
Oh
Like
yeah.
where he's all like, did he just say what did he just say when he was saying Ghidorah? And he was all, I think they said gonorrhea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Also, as well, when I was watching John Wick with people in the Discord last night, I forgot that the Falcon's in that movie as well from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, the Vulture.
Falcon? Oh, the Vulture. The Vulture. Yeah, that's it.
Fuck.
Copyright. What? Let's see. Like, it's weird. Like, well, they do this whole thing. Oh, we must release the Titans to like, get a natural order. It's like, but why though? It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, are you just trying to be evil? Like, and obviously, seeing animals caged up is not good. But when you consider the fact these animals are like 100 meters tall,
No, I mean,
don't
the thing is, that, right, they'll go there and be like, it's not fair to see these giant creatures caged up. Yet they're going to release those creatures and have the actual polar bears or whatever that are at a zoo get crushed. I mean,
I would just like invest in this big like space like shoot and just shoot them in the space into a planet like
while they die.
like.
I mean, if you're saying Godzilla
like,
through that thing, he's going to rip
kaijus.
through the entire thing. He's iceberg.
I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure in like 5 new movies of Godzilla, he's gonna be in space and he's gonna be breathing.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be
You're not wrong. There is a space version of him.
Kong for the
There we
win,
go.
though. Team Kong.
But there's one other one that was like really, really confusing and out of nowhere, which was the military somehow having the oxygen destroyer bomb, which is just, where did you make that? Because it just feels out of nowhere. Like, hang on, you had, and then they fire it on poor Godzilla who's trying to like stop this
Kill this
space
alien
monster,
dragon.
and then Godzilla almost dies, and Ghidorah's just like,
Ha ha ha! It's me!
ha 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 ha.
Go out with a big bang!
But
Bang
it
to
did
the-
have, oh jeez, it did have a lot of very good, like, almost like a lot of wallpaper moments in it, like a
Yeah,
lot
like
of really
cinematic
nice,
shots
like,
and stuff, yeah.
The music was fantastic.
Yeah, especially
like,
that
the
end credits
CGI
bit with the "Who comes Godzilla?"
Oh, I love how they brought it back.
Jesus.
What else? I'm trying to like see now.
When you said the "Here Comes the Godzilla," David, all I could think about was the end credits with Eminem's Venom.
Copyright.
We're so good.
It's okay. It was only like
We're
2
so
seconds.
good at
Oh,
it.
you know,
Eminem's gonna come after us. He's like, break
so.
quarantine and
But-
be like, I am gay. That's from the interview. If anyone's wondering, I'm not hating on Eminem. It's Seth Rogen.
Let's see.
Kill it, Seth.
Oh god.
We're going back to Franco's. This is the end.
Such a fun.
Oh.
Dude, this channel's just quotes, man. Just
Oh, actually, okay, wait, hold on. We'll pause for a minute on Alex's thing. David, right, I want you to do a reference from a film. It could be any film at all. You can do the voice if you want, but it has to be a sentence. It can't be like one word. And then someone in the comments has to guess it. Whoever guesses it, they're getting a heart on their comments.
Okay.
As they normally do. So,
Alright, tell me when.
no.
If you want to shoot me, then shoot me! Don't shoot him! What's that from? Is that enough, or is that okay?
Okay, and then we'll leave. I didn't even know what that was from, to be fair.
I know exactly what
But
that's
you can tell me after the podcast.
If I remember.
It's like we forget to like turn off the podcast and we just say what it is.
Little do we know that David's quoting like the secret movie he's been in this entire time.
It's like after like the corona outbreak and everything, then we release it. It's just me sitting going like, "Hi everyone! Before the movie starts, I was there." I actually sound like Hiccups actor.
Oh dear.
Anyway, back to Alex's thing.
Yeah, back to Godzilla.
This is quickly obviously. I think because right now I don't know where is this Godzilla vs Kong trailer. It's sometime next month. I'm gonna cry whenever I see it because Big G's back, and now the hairy monkey boy is coming too.
You're gonna be like the guy. Oh, what do you call him from This Is the End? The black dude, the guy that we fucking adore. I
Craig.
think his name's Craig. This.
Unless I'm thinking of his name from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh no, he
His
was
name's
Doug
Craig
Judy
in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Doug Judy.
Because
that's it,
I just imagine when that trailer comes out, Alex will just be like him and this deal. He's all "fuck yeah," getting like brought up to heaven.
Like all I can say is no coronavirus is gonna stop me except from seeing that movie.
Well, it can be the cinema theaters.
The coronavirus will stop. Yeah, the coronavirus will stop the movie.
But anyway, that's just for the two Godzilla stuff. Now to the more, it's kind of the same stuff almost, and it
To the meat.
to the meat.
What's that from? I wonder. Jeff Goldblum.
That's why you should say because we're going to Jurassic Park.
Goddamn news.
Must go faster. Shit. I
It's
shit
weird.
myself.
I was trying to do a mixture of Jeff Goldblum's thing, but also the thing that you said a magic word.
Just imagine Alex
But-
quoting him from Thor Ragnarok and not Jurassic Park. He's just like, you're on the clock. And just like tells us to go away. Or like the whole, you're pardoned from life.
From life.
Oh dear.
I want to watch that movie. Fuck.
Oh. Anyway, Jurassic Park. Now it doesn't really need much explaining besides the fact it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
That's true. Yeah.
With a lot
I
of
wouldn't say for me like it's not in my top 10, but I would agree that it's one of the best movies made in like history ever.
The lengths these people had to do to make this movie is nuts, especially for back then.
Because the whole I'm sorry, I keep on interrupting you. But, like,
That's
just the whole like technology to use for that was like so like advanced and crazy at the time. With the whole entire CGI, because they were going to use animatronics. That's how you say it, right? Unless I'm saying it wrong.
Hold on.
Animatronics.
Animatronics.
Yeah, there you go.
Animatronics. There we go. I missed the "ana" in that word, but yeah, no, it's so fascinating to see how behind the scenes of all the computer technology that they were using at the time for that movie. And I'll let Alex talk now, and I'll shut up for a bit.
This movie was, I think it was still a wee primary school babby boy around the time whenever I seen this movie. And it was my mum's biggest mistake, because whenever I seen that movie, I just watched it constantly, non-stop. Because I think back then we never had like different like more than one TV, so I hogged the TV, just put in the
That's very relatable. Like downstairs, I would hog the TV, like watching a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine episodes on repeat, and my mom would be like killing herself in the background.
So all they would hear is no, like just a lot.
And then the minute your mom walks in, you're just like, oh, it's become the fucking T-Rex.
Also, like the series, it did start to get a wee bit meh, like later on. Well, at least with the Park movies,
it got more like action heavy.
Yeah, it did. But with the first one, it was based off the book. Well, it did have a lot of changes. Obviously, it wasn't nowhere near as dark as the book. But let's see. I remember watching like the bits, like the T-Rex bit, and weirdly enough, I wasn't scared at that scene. I don't know why.
I don't think I was either when I watched it. Probably because I was my mom would watch a lot of horror movies, so I'd just come downstairs and see like freaking Freddy's face fall off, and I'd be scarred. Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm like, ah!
No, you just see
when I
like,
saw T-Rex, I was like, that's alright.
You just see Freddy like pulling in like the woman who turns into like a bloody blew up doll.
Oh no,
like,
that was
thing.
hilarious to me. That's
just like,
so funny to me.
Let's see. It also then sparked a wee love, just like, you know, dinosaurs are cool. And then for all my years of life, that's a great way to say it, I was attached to dinosaurs. Like, I'm 24 years old, and you show me anything of a dinosaur, and I'm like,
yeah, trust me. Whenever we played Minecraft and we found out there was some expansions with dinosaurs, I've never seen that guy dive straight into 2 packs.
But let's see what else was. Obviously, had all the fantastic actors in it, like Jeff Goldblum, and I
lovely man.
I can't remember like the names of the guy. Like I know the guy who did Alan Grant was really good. What do you call Sandler, wasn't it? Like that's one of her second names. Wait, no. Hang on.
I thought you were saying Adam Sandler in that movie.
No, not
that's right,
that.
I collect antiquities.
I can't remember the woman's name. I can't remember, but she was really good in it. The 2 kids, they weren't that bad at all.
No, they were good for like kid actors.
It's not that hard to pretend to shake jelly and you're terrified of Velociraptor. I can do that.
Was it like the sister that did it?
Yeah, the sister.
Yeah, it was his sister. Cause I remember seeing that
she
so
just
many times.
stared off like a person be doing science. Might see the big word.
That's that's like the face you make when like you do the exam, but then you realize there's a back to it.
Start shaking like the animatronic for the T-Rex. Just the
oh, I love that. Just like But who else? Oh, there was John Hammond, who was very good in this. What else? There was. Oh yeah, what do you call him? Samuel L. Jackson. He was really good in it for like.
Wait, he was in the movie?
Was it?
I don't think he was.
That guy, is it?
Samuel Jackson, the guy who plays Mace Windu?
Wait, was it? Hang on. Wait, no.
Are we getting that?
No, wait, no.
Which Jurassic Park is this again?
The first one.
Yeah, are you thinking of Kong for some reason?
No, like it was up like the fat guy then, but then there was the sugar.
Oh yeah, Samuel Jackson is in it. You're right.
Yes. Yeah, he is. It's a guy that goes, hold on to your butt.
That's right. He tries to hack into the computers, but the fat guy does that like
Yeah.
I completely forgot that he was in that movie.
I don't know, I was so confused for a
Well,
second there.
he was in it for like 5 minutes until the Raptors went nom 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 on him. So
Yeah, it's all coming together
The
now.
second I watched this guy, I was like, motherfucker!
and then obviously you had the fat guy who I can't remember his name.
He got spit in his eyes
Yeah, I
anyway.
can't remember his name either.
His death was so satisfying. Even as a kid, I loved it. And then he just got eaten by like this thing. He goes, just screams of this spit.
I think that part scared me as a kid.
Oh yeah, that.
Like not the T-Rex, but just that part.
The
was
bit you
so
saw in
scary.
his history, it's like the bit in Family Guy whenever like Chris flares out his neck and like spits in his mom's face. He's like,
Then there. Did you know like the raptors? Like whenever they went into the kitchen, they actually had like tongues like snakes that come out.
No.
It was like one of the versions where they obviously cut that because it looked a bit stupid looking.
Who knew that the whole tongues with snake comment would come full circle now? This part. At the beginning of the podcast.
I love the whole like raptor sequence near the end of the movie, and that is just fantastic. And then obviously Rexy coming in and be like, haha, this is my movie, and then just kills them all, and everyone gets away. It's a happy ending, kinda, sorta, maybe not.
we need more teeth.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And yeah, that's Jurassic Park. It's one of the best movies ever, and I love it to bits even to this day. Now, speaking of more teeth, we're going to Jurassic World.
I need
which,
more teeth.
Obviously, the first one, like, because Fallen Kingdom, it was pretty good. But it's not as good as Jurassic World. This movie, whenever I heard it was being made, I pretty much just exploded with happiness.
Yeah. He broke into pieces, me and David had to collect them. It was scattered around Ireland for a good bit.
I was just sitting
the cinema chairs. All I had to do, it was like instead of Marco Polo, it was like, we need more teeth.
I was just sitting on a wall and I just randomly fell off it and cracked. And I just think, oh no.
Oh, Hopsy Dopsy.
But it around this time, when we all went to see the movie, and then the main focus kinda was the two kid actors, and they weren't that good, to be honest. Like they weren't that they weren't annoying, but they weren't that great. But it was a nice way to get people into the park and stuff. Like, oh, these two kids, like, go off with it. And then the mother says to like the young kid, the most spy, when you want to mouse get you run. It's like, okay, that's just lovely to say to your child. And then they go to the park. The big brother has romance issues, whatever.
She left me on read.
Oh no, there was the bit where like the brother says like, oh, our parents should get a divorce, and it makes the wee brother upset, and it's like, why would you tell him now?
No, I
Why?
don't want 2 birthdays.
Because they needed some sort of like
that emotional.
quibble
Yeah.
with the
They
two
needed
of
them
them.
to be like, I hate you, so they're also like, I love you, brother.
And then obviously we get introduced to these names. I just obviously
Chris Pratt.
no, I know obviously Chris Pratt, but like the
I know. Chris
I'm not an imbecile.
His Instagram.
the girl, the ginger girl. No,
Brian man. She directed a scene, an episode in Mandalorian. I know her name in the movie is Claire, isn't it?
Claire. There it is.
Yeah, but I don't know her actress name. It's like it starts with B.
But then we get introduced to Claire, and she's doing her wee thing, and then we find out they're making, like, they're like splicing DNA of different dinosaurs and other animals. Like complete morons. But then I think it cuts to Chris. Yeah, I think it cuts to Chris Pratt's character. Owen. Owen. It cuts to Owen, and he's doing probably one of the most amazing things ever. He is taming raptors, which one of them is, and they're all like Alpha. Oh wait, no, not Alpha. Delta, Blue, Charlie.
I think that was it, wasn't it? Because there was only 3.
Wait, no, it's 4.
It was 4. The hell happened?
There was Blue, Delta, Charlie.
Was it Echo?
Yeah, I think it was Echo.
I was gonna say Butter for some reason.
What is this? Battlefield? What are they? Butters.
Yeah, I mean, like most of those names are like war tactics names
Exotic
and whatnot.
butters. And he's just and then you have the typical evil guy who uses them for money, but instead of money, he's gonna be using them as weapons, which makes no sense. Oh, sorry, burp there.
That's what you just like inhale with an actual ice pop. Like,
and he obviously, like as I said, he wants to use the raptors for going into like, was it Iraq or Afghan? Like he wants to just let them go in and just eat people.
oh yeah, it was like for the war and shit.
Which I don't think would work in war.
No, it wouldn't.
Those dinosaurs would die.
I mean, we saw how fast it
Especially,
happened in the actual scene, but they actually had to hunt down some of the velociraptors.
That's true, but I mean, like if a tank was there,
No, that's
like,
what I mean. Like
they-
that was just men taking out dinosaurs. Imagine if it was a
like,
fucking
they-
Oh
armada.
yeah. Okay, sorry, I forgot about the dinosaurs
Wait,
taking with them.
I get to see them because like it's great, but then obviously Owen's like, no, that's completely stupid. But Vaughn being Vaughn, he's like, nah, be all good. You just get him there, maybe there'll be really good recons, and then Owen just well, I think he just walks away after that. I think he just walks away. And there was like the other like kind of guy who's like friends of Owen. I can't like it was like the black dude. Sorry,
I don't remember his name.
I really don't remember his name, but he was like a co-worker of Owen. Then you have like the typical like innocent guy who tries to like feed the raptors. I think it was like a mouse. Or, what was it? A raccoon or something? It was something.
Was it not like a goat?
No, it was a pig.
Oh,
It was a pig. And then he somehow, he grabbed the pig, but then one of the raptors grabbed it, and he get knocked in. I don't know why he didn't just let go of the raptor, just immediately grabbed it, but when he falls in, and then the raptor's all like, "Oh, free meal," and then Owen's like, "No, don't do this." And somehow Owen was not eaten alive, but like he tamed them, I guess.
Main character. Plot
But although there is the bit where he turned his back on them, he runs, and they go for him. So
Yeah.
they're kind of like some animals in real life. If you turn your back to
Like
them, they're
tigers?
just goofy and like stuff like that. So it's kind of like, it's pretty cool. And I'm surprised Owen didn't do like a wee like, hey, like a wee like a wee slap on the nose or something. What else happens? And then obviously we cut back to the rowdy double duo children who are now meeting up with Claire. And they're just doing their wee thing, like, oh, I'll have this babysitter who's not liking the situation at all, and then they just do their own thing. But then, obviously, being kids in a park, they just take off and walk there and do the thing. And I think then Claire goes to see Owen, who then was, there's a thing I wanted to show you. Like, it's like, haha, I live in the wastelands, and then we find out there used to be a thing, but he's stopped. That's going to quickly change later in the movie. They go off and see this new dinosaur who's called the Indominus Rex, to which even what was like there was like the guy who was he goes, that's such a stupid name. Like, he says this is like the weird dude in the weird computer area.
in
And
the computer room.
you see obviously the Indominus, and I really like the look of the Indominus. It's like a weird like hybrid monstrosity of T-Rex. But then we found out that there was two of them, which if two of them actually still stayed alive, that would be the end of it. That there would be no Jurassic World at all, considering how much damage one did. Disaster happens. It gets out because it did a haha prank bro and just gets out. Starts eating people, typical stuff, and takes off.
Typical prank.
I mean, sometimes pranks end disastrously.
That's true.
The kids are going on these like wee orb things, and they're just being kids, as you do, and they
They're like, I can't breathe.
and for some unexplained reason, in an island filled with dinosaurs, they decide to go off the tracks into like this open bit of the fence, go in and go into this like really dense forest, and you see like ankylosauruses and stuff. And they're like, oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you see, like, I don't know how the kid sees this. He goes, like, 5. But the Indominus is behind them. So it's like, how did you know it was there? Unless the reflection showed it
Yeah,
somehow.
it was probably the reflection in the glass, then they saw it. maybe.
I found it was a weird wee shot, but then the Indominus obviously just goes yeet and just kicks it as goes after the Ankylosaurus, snaps his neck very savagely, goes after the kids.
Okay, when you're saying snap his neck, I like blanked out for a second, and I thought the kid's neck got snapped. I was like, that didn't happen. I was like, did it?
And then the kids
Just
get out.
yeah.
I wish. But then the kids get out, and I don't know how they did this, but they somehow outran a hybrid monster of a mixture of a raptor and a T-Rex. I don't know how they outran him.
Man, fear makes you fast as hell.
No, fear does not make you faster than whatever the hell the Indominus was.
I don't know, maybe he didn't do leg day that day, and he
that one bloody hour that he was like, yeah, you know what, I'll go easy on them.
Star-Lord,
They
man.
jump off, and then what else is it cut to
Star-Lord.
there? Yeah, I think then it cuts to like just everyone like panicking, like, oh no, it's out. Then it has the really cool scene where like you see it like camouflaging, and it attacks it. It can camouflage. It just grabs him and it doesn't really kill him. It kind of like grabs him and just throws him. Which is a really
I'm pretty sure
weird
though that
thing
if it bites down on the guy, he's already dead. Those teeth are long.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, was he? No, he probably was killed because like the way like the Indominus grabbed him and just threw him, and I think he kind of like hit off the branches. So yeah, I think he was killed by that.
yeah, he probably broke a lot
That
of bones
tooth
there.
probably
And
punctures and tests, and he died of either sepsis or just the sheer force of his like body being ragdolled. He just broke in two.
I don't know why.
Everything.
I don't know why, but I just thought of like the dinosaur just biting into like his heart, and he's like, oh, he's just flying.
I can put it back in. Ah!
Well, flash forward, but don't want to like go through the whole movie. But let's just get to the bit where the raptors go a wee bit haywire because the Indominus is like, hi bros, and the raptors is just like, and then they all just lose like, Owen, you no longer are daddy, and then they just attack them, and then it has, you know, the whole scene where the fat guy wants the raptors to attack and the people in Afghanistan or something. It's like, that's weird because it's a desert. The raptors need long grass to do their
Yeah,
thing.
they can't like stay hidden. There's nothing to hide in.
They can't.
The moment they just get dropped on the desert, just go, ah! Just scream. They don't know what to do.
It's too fucking hot.
Oh. But then we have I think it was Echo or Charlie. He just gets rocket launched. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie. I did laugh.
Yeah,
on
you
that.
laughed.
And
I was
I will-
completely pissed off at that.
I was in.
Because like, it was just
quite funny to me.
It was just, oh, he's getting through to them. Then you see just this missile. Because some guy was like, you know what? Overkill. And just shoots. I was like, no! And also, listen, that entire scene, like, whoever said, oh, Jurassic World's not scary. Shut your damn bloody mouth. Like, that scene's scary. Like, really. And, you have the kids with Claire there, like, oh, gotta get out of here.
Claire, there, she has a bear.
She is a bear.
Basically, everyone gets out, and, well, not everyone. Then they return to the visitor center, I believe, after that. Yeah, they do. They return to the visitor center. They see good old Teletubby Joe there, and he's just like, haha, I did it! And then Blue just comes in, and like the Howie moment, it's okay. Like the fat guy goes like, it's okay, and then Blue just looks at him as if like, you what? And then just bites on his hand, and then you probably see one of the most graphic scenes in Jurassic Park, where like you know she went for his neck, and all you hear is like, I mean, just blood. So I think that was one of the most graphic bits, I believe, unless you count the T-Rex bits. But then they all get it. Like, oh, Blue, no! He pep talks. Wait, doesn't he? Kind of was like shh. Takes off the controller or the wee camera things, which, funny enough, I think that's probably one of the reasons why they did like it was just the cameras. Thomas comes over, tries to, and then Owens just smiles. Actually, no, before that, Blue lunges at the Indominus, and then the Indominus just yeets her like off. Then Owen just goes, I can't do it. Whistle, and then I think it was Delta and the three of the Raptors look the same. They do their thing. It's a really cool fight. Then things are like, oh no, we're losing. And then a certain little boy goes, we need more teeth. Then
Nice, David.
And then Claire runs off to get out a certain very old lady who is just done with this shit, known as Rexy, who's obviously the same T-Rex from Jurassic Park 1, who is somehow alive, but I guess she's a genetic thing, so, well, actually...
twist.
And then Claire gets the flare thing, and...
shoots the T-Rex in the eye, kills him.
The T-Rex almost is like, oh, flare, and then, I don't know how Claire did that, but in high heels, she outran the T-Rex, who's just like, ooh, flare.
Fear, man.
And...
Fear.
Woman power.
Yeah, enough time in heels, you'll know what to do. Anything in heels.
Then the T-Rex gets to the Indominus, who at this point has grabbed one of the raptors, threw it on top of an oven, and set it on fire. And the other one, he just grabs and just throws over a building. He gets the easy thing off. Rexy comes through and just like, this is my territory. And then the Indominus is like, nope. And then they fight, which is a very cool fight. Although the CGI, like one bit where like you can't see like the Rexy going after the Indominus' neck. It looks a bit funny looking, but still good. Rexy starts to lose. Oh no, Blue comes over, and then just leaps on the Indominus. They have a wee tag team moment, and then Mosasaurus just like team kill, grabs it, pulls it in, and that's it.
I want more teeth.
He's been saying that for years now.
We don't know what he's saying. And then all in that, then the movie just ends with Rexy just staring at Blue, looking like an old lady, and then just walking off, just done.
She throws up on him.
Blue just looks at Owen. Owen does like the shake head thing for some reason, and then just Blue runs off. Then everyone goes back home, and Claire probably has a lot of explaining to do to her sister, who's wondering, hang on, you just endangered my children, you. But no. And then that's really it. Because then after that, Fallen Kingdom was pretty good. Now you just gotta wait for the probably gonna be okay one that's coming. I don't know where that is, but I'll see. That's my movies.
Thanks for explaining the whole plot of Jurassic. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know why I went into it, but sorry about that.
I mean, you love the movie, like, so I mean, like, it's fair for you to go on like a big tangent.
Now for you.
Yeah, my turn. So I'll keep mine brief. The first one I'm going to talk about is Lord of the Rings. I was going to cheat and say the trilogy, but I can't do that because that's not what the whole idea of this thing is.
Because if it was, I have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, you'd freaking choke.
I have
strangle
22
me.
movies
But
on the set
for me, whenever it comes to like which one of the three is like the best in my opinion, I always find myself going back to the Fellowship of the Ring, and I think I really enjoy that one a lot. And I think it's just because of the whole setting of the Shire and everything, and just like meeting all the characters. By the way, the movie still looks great to this day. If you put this in the cinema, if you put this to the cinema now, you'd think it was new. Like, you'd think like, oh dang, like the whole amount of effects, the amount of behind the scenes stuff. There's like 3 or 4 hours of behind the scenes, and there is like so many fantastic tales that happen behind the scenes. Stuff with like Sean Bean, like he didn't want to go on the helicopter because he was scared of helicopters, and instead he climbed the mountain to go up to the set because they had to go up in a helicopter. So they would just see him just in the Boromir outfit climbing the mountain like a madman, and I was like, oh my god.
He's like you have elevators.
Like, I don't even think I would climb a mountain, no.
Would you take the elevator?
Like, yeah, I'd just be like, no, I wouldn't take it. There was no elevator.
Yeah, but
it's
like just hypothetical, right? There's a mountain. To get to the top of the mountain, you can either climb that mountain or take an elevator. That's your only choices. Would you climb the mountain?
I'd just go home.
No, you can't. You cannot go home. That's not an option. It's specifically either climb
Well,
or
then
take a
I
lift.
guess I'd climb the mountain and
Right, so
probably
see
die.
everyone, he is Shambu. And that's why the orc that is me shoots you with probably 3 arrows.
Connor
Also-
is the type of guy.
Sorry,
that
go on, Alex.
will go up elevators or like not go about, but go upstairs instead. Like a lot of stairs.
Yeah, I don't trust elevators at all. They're too small, and they're every time it goes down and then it stops
Okay.
for a bit. I feel like the cable's gonna break and I'm gonna fall.
Okay, whenever you like elevators are too small, I don't trust them. I just look at myself and go, "Oh shit."
Alex is too small, I don't trust him.
Well, Alex, I don't try to go inside you, so it's all good.
No,
Don't
stare
worry
at me.
The second you stand to his room, though, you're like, I can't do this.
But anyway, yeah. I love the film. Like, all the actors in the film were fantastic. Hands down, one of the best soundtracks in films that I always go back to listen to. For me, and I don't even know if like Howard Shore, like the guy who composed all the music, has done any other. I'm pretty sure he's done other music
He
in
probably
shows
has.
and whatnot. But like I don't know, like God, just it's crazy to think about that because like composers like John Williams and whatnot, you're just like, how do you make up these themes? Like these iconic themes, like the Harry Potter theme, it's like only a couple of notes or whatnot at the
Still
beginning,
love it,
and it's so
though.
iconic, and it's like, how do you do that? Like, I don't understand. That's
I always
mad.
see like a Harry Potter
But-
movie as like a Christmas movie sometimes.
Oh yeah, like because those movies are always like, it's all, oh, it's wonderful, it's magical, it's great, wow, look at this, and some people can get annoyed at that sometimes. Yeah, I was about to say that, like, it's all British. Then there's like that one American like transfer student, and everyone just looks at them the wrong way.
What are you? Get out.
But yeah, no, I love Lord of the Rings so much. Like, my God, I never got around to reading the books. I probably will someday, in fact. And I know, obviously, the book, it explains so much. It explains the detail of a chair for like 2 chapters or whatever. But no, yeah, Lord of the Rings definitely. Fellowship of the Ring is probably definitely one of my favorites from the trilogy. Helm's Deep has a fantastic fight scene in Helm's Deep in the Two Towers. And as much as people think the ending to Return of the King's too long, I don't give a shit. I fucking love that. Like, I love that so much because it resolves everything, and you get to see everyone's like little happy ending to their whole arcs.
I love
You
it
also
when
have probably one,
Aragorn
like-
breaks his big toe on a helmet.
Yeah, and the second one, when he just screams, that which actually happened.
You know, the third one, like just that scene where like you bow to no one, is one of the most powerful scenes.
Yeah, like even still to this day, like I tear up at times watching Lord of the Rings, and it's been like my 1000th time watching them films. And even the scene as well, like when the Balrog is first introduced in the Mines of Moria, like that's still scary to me at times. I think it's the music that does it at the beginning, because when all the goblins run away, and you're like, okay, if all the goblins are run away from this
What the
thing,
hell
what
is
is it?
that thing?
And you just hear like the, and then you just see like the flames, and you're just like, and Gandalf's like, run! You're like,
Yeah, when
"Oh,
a wizard
shit."
says run, you're just like, oh fuck, I don't know what's going on, but I'm scared.
Could you imagine if like they never showed the Balrog? Like it was just like a mist or
That
something.
would have been kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm not like upset that they showed him, because like I'm pretty sure in the book like Tolkien probably described him in full detail.
Yeah.
So,
he
and
just-
also as well in the fucking beginning of Two Towers when Gandalf's fighting him is like some of the best shit I've seen in a fantasy film. Just like a wizard flying down towards this big beast, catching a sword, slapping the shit out of him.
I feel
And then-
like when you do read the books, that you're definitely going to feel more attached to the movies, like a lot more.
Probably
whenever you said that, like you bow to no one, you're probably going to get more choked up remembering from the books to that scene.
Yeah, true, but like I feel like if I did read the books, it probably wouldn't even change too much of my experience with the movies because I've grown up with them so much. Like I'd still respect the movies as what they are, and for Peter Jackson making a phenomenal like trilogy of films, like hands down, like my God, good man. But for my second film is Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi film, and for me that is like the best. People are probably going to disagree strongly with me with this one, but that is the best superhero movie I have ever watched, ever, in my entire life. And I know some people think that Tobey Maguire is a cringy boy. I love him to pieces. All his faces deserve to be on an art gallery.
This is-
they all deserve
this
to
is
be
Spider-Man
there.
2,
And I
right?
love him. Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Yeah, with Doc Ock.
I love the scene when Doc Ock is like standing in his way and he's all, "Get out my damn way! I can't see. There's cars there."
Wait, what?
Doc Ock was like standing going, "Ooh, ooh," and then like Tobey Maguire's like, "Get out my damn way! I can't see. There's cars there."
Okay.
There's no
okay.
everyone. It's not real. I'm just making up a hypothetical. Is that even a word, hypothetical? Or what is it?
No, were you not referencing the part where all like the where Tobey Maguire was in his car and all these news reporters were like in front of him?
Yeah, but like it was never
and, like,
in
he was
the
like,
movie.
"Get out of the way!" Oh no, I know that. Yeah,
take
that's what you were referencing.
Yeah, I was referencing that.
But yeah,
No, I agree. That movie is fantastic.
That movie means so much to me, and like Doc Ock's such like a well-developed like villain, and
100%.
like the chemistry that Peter and Octavius have together is like fantastic in that movie. Harry Osborn's great. Mary Jane, she's alright, but like you know, it's fine.
I don't really give a shit about her.
But J.K. Simmons is phenomenal. Like, my God, like, and the little Easter eggs with Bruce Campbell always appearing in each movie is great.
That's his side job apart from fighting like Deadites.
Yeah, because he was meant to be Mysterio in the fourth movie, which would have made sense because he's like everywhere.
Just imagine him
he's,
to
like,
do the
different
like
characters each time.
like every time he's like beating Spider-Man, he's just becoming fucking Ash.
I also as well. I just wanted to say this, that I really enjoyed the third Spider-Man movie. I know the flaws of the movie and I agree with them, but I still enjoy that movie for what it was. I do wish that Venom was out of it and he was
100%.
gone, but I do enjoy that movie. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, I was gonna just say like if the movie was just based on Sandman, would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Oh yeah.
I could see there's like the story for Sandman there was so much more to show, but they just didn't get to show because they had to fit in Venom.
Yeah, and New Goblin.
Yeah.
And Evil Peter. But yeah, no, Spider-Man 2, like the scenes, there's so many scenes in that movie that like inspire me so much. Like the whole speech Aunt May gives to Peter, like saying, "I believe there's a hero in all of us," like really hit me so hard as a kid, and it made me feel like I could like help people. And what? Laughing at my
because like
me being
because like whenever you say the whole like there's a hero in all of us, and I remember our like party chats whenever it's like me and Alex talking about if someone did this to my family, I'd kill them and stuff. They're like, no. I would beat them to an inch of their life and have them suffer on the brink of death constantly. And I'm just like thinking, so that's your hero.
Well, like I don't know, like because like every time I said it, like I don't think I really mean it. Like if I was ever mad at someone, I'd probably hit them.
You would lay into them like Jim Carrey does in The Mask, where he goes like, "Ah!" And he goes, "I'm winning."
but like I don't think I never in my life would I ever have the intention to like murder someone or like bring someone to torture or anything like that. I don't think I could ever do that. That's not right.
I
That's
think
not
that
okay.
if someone hit me the wrong, like while grinding my gears, I'd probably like leave them with a mark, and I just like go like if they were lying on the ground, like please stop. I'm like, ah, and I grab them by their face and tilt them to the side and bite their ear off, and just be like, ah, and then just get up and run away.
You leave them with a mark, and then you'd be like, "Remember this pain," and then you run away. Like an anime.
Funny enough, though, if people actually watch Sons of Anarchy, you'll know what that scene's. Well, I just said it. The bit where Tig, it was like, I think it was the Sons of Anarchy versus these neo-Nazis or something. They just had a huge fight, and then Tig just goes, just stands over this guy. I think he bites his nose off, and he's all, ah, and then he just walks away.
My God.
I was like, what the fuck?
But yeah, the scene that always gets me in freaking Spider-Man 2 is the scene where it's Peter when he realizes that his powers aren't working anymore, and then he has that scene with Uncle Ben in his car in his mind, and then Uncle Ben reaches out his hand to him, and like Tobey Maguire is a fantastic actor. Like, because his facial reaction to him saying like "no, Uncle Ben," and like his face, and then he turns to Uncle Ben just looking sad, and I'm just like, no.
Also, he has got some of the best meme faces ever. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Gonna cry.
Like the iconic freaking scream he does when Mary Jane's about to be crushed by that giant like column of like debris.
The wee smirk he does in the third one, I think it was.
Oh yeah, and I just love that scene as well at the end of Spider-Man 2, where like, well, near the end of Spider-Man 2, where like he's on the crane and she sees him, and like the music, like Danny Elfman's music for Spider-Man is just mwah, beautiful.
His face is made
I
of
love
Play-Doh.
Yeah. But for the third film, I've kind of been cycling back and forth as like these two have been talking, and I think my third movie that I really, really love is Robocop. It's definitely like one of those movies for me where it's just like, obviously there's like a huge like meaning of the movie is like his self-worth and like is he even human anymore after like what happened to him, and him kind of getting his humanity back even though he's owned by this company. But like it's just those kind of movies that I watch just to sit back, relax, have a good time, for all the gore and whatnot, because that movie is like gory as hell. It is crazy with the amount of gore it goes through, and I just like the whole message of him just still being able to be this cop who wants to have justice in the city, and still him being Murphy and not a robot. And I like that line at the end where he's like, "What's your name, kid?" And he's like, "Murphy." Like that's a great way to end that film. And it also has some silly effects in it as well sometimes. Like most of the practical effects are fantastic, but the only effect that's still like is hilarious to me, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, is like when Robocop shoots the guy from the office out of the room, and his arms are incredibly long, and he's like as he falls, which is like
I
great.
love just the bit where like he uses the stairs to fight the bigger robot, like when he falls.
Yeah, I can't remember what the robot's called. But yeah, that scene was always very scary too, when like they command the robot and then it goes like, "Oh, kill," or whatever. I can't remember how the scene
It was like
plays out,
something about like,
but I just remember
he said like I think get down on the ground or something, you're under arrest, and the guy didn't know what to do, and he couldn't like back
and
it out.
he didn't do it, and he just immediately shot him to death, and I
Yeah.
was like, Jesus. I was like, that is brutal as hell. But yeah, that movie really stuck out to me, so it did.
I love the scenes though where like
with-
they were doing the dead bodies of certain people, and like the machines kept coming out with like pieces of humans attached to them. They're like the prototypes, and then that one like lifted its head off and just started screaming. It was like a skeleton's face and all, just dropped dead. It was like the stop motion. I'm a wee bitch for all of their stuff. I just love seeing it.
Oh no, I love stop motion as well. Like I love like practical effects and everything.
Yeah.
Like that, especially the whole makeup of the guy who got like vatted with all the radiation, and he's like, "Kill me," and then he just gets freaking run over, and he's just in pieces. It's like, oh, so
all
gross,
chunky.
so disturbing.
He's like
Yeah.
literal vomit.
I always find it funny too, the scene before that, because like he tries to run over Robocop, and then Robocop just like slightly turns to the right and walks away, and then he just smashes into the vat of radiation and
How
acid.
slow he does it like the
He's like, "Oh shit!" Like, I just imagine his face like, "Ugh." He's trying to move.
quickly.
There's also the movie where like he stabs a dude in the neck. With, like,
Yeah,
he,
with his like wee hacking tool.
Yeah.
So brutal.
He shoots a guy in the balls.
See, it's the thing, right? When we're talking about those
rape
bits
this
being
woman.
brutal, do we not? Are we not going to mention the most brutal part of it all, where Murphy literally got gunned down, like hands shot off,
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
just
that was
he shouldn't have
mad.
been standing up. He should have just been
No.
gone.
Like he should have died from like the amount of shock.
I mean,
his
I've
system
seen
from,
Reddit
like-
50/50, and no one lasts that long.
Well, then again, we have to remember these things are
I
films.
know, but
and-
still.
Yeah, but it's such a messed up scene because they're just sitting there laughing at him as he's looking at his arm and it's completely
Connor, I
blown
mean,
off.
how many times have we played Dead Island and we just jumped on top of a zombie and just beat the living
I
shit
mean,
out
but
of
those
it?
are mindless zombies. They don't have a conscience.
There's been
or
other
anything
games
like
where we've been laughing at Force Unleashed when you lifted a stormtrooper and you shook him around like crazy. Whenever we saw Palpatine shaking Starkiller around and slapping him,
that.
hearing his bones
But
break.
that's because of Sam Wooper's performance. Where he's like, "Oh!"
Still though.
Speaking of Star Wars, my final film that I really, really love to go back to a lot is Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And I know that's like probably for a lot of Star Wars fans, like, really, that one? Like, why that one? Like, out of all the Star Wars movies. The reason why I love that movie so much is because of the whole relationship with Vader and Luke Skywalker, and their whole like connection together in that movie is fantastic. Like, that final fight scene with Vader and Luke is like one of my, minus Revenge of the Sith, because I like Revenge of the Sith's choreography in that, because it's freaking mad how Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen like like practice that. None of that, minus the whole CGI jumps and whatnot. But
hey, you don't know they're able to do it.
Hayden Christensen just comes into my room. You underestimate my power.
They could be
get out of here.
Cat, where you just like go wah, and they go like whoa.
Don't try it.
But yeah, back to Return of the Jedi. Like, I just loved that confrontation with the Emperor and Luke in that scene, and the whole musical score that John Williams does for the Emperor, like the oh, is like one of my favorite scores from Star Wars. Especially when Luke confronts Vader with anger, and he's like no, and it's like oh,
and Palpatine's like,
this is like
I got you.
Like
Palpatine's in the chair going like oh, spin around.
like that moment where you just see Luke staring off into space where everyone's like fighting, and you see Palpatine like they will die. And just like Luke's turning and staring at him like oh
yeah, just like, oh shit, because like. When Luke goes into there, it's like a suicide mission. He's like, I'm not going to turn to the dark side. You're going to kill me, and I'll win. And he's like, all right, whatever.
He starts beating down
here's
on
your
his
friends, by the way, getting freaking killed, multi kills here.
He's like, I'm getting so many assists right now.
You just see this bar on this chair.
It's like the Overwatch one where it's just like assist.
It's like 50 points above his head. Just like
but like
there's also sorry, David. Do you want to talk?
Do you know the way you were saying like he was doing that? Oh, so it's like spinning around his chair. I just imagine that's when Luke and Vader were fighting. But like whenever he's going like oh, you just see him like kicking his legs in the background, like leaning back, going oh.
But yeah, Vader gives off like the most spine-chilling like line in that movie as well, when he's just like sister, and like the way he says that is just so like it always gives me chills every time he says it. To Luke.
How do you think?
Because you're just like,
how do you think he means it though? Do you think he means it as in like when he was like sister? Do you just be like, what? You have a sister? Or he's like
he meant that as a way, as in like if you won't turn, I'll use your sister as a way, because that's how and you're just like, oh shit, okay. Because as well, like Vader, because Vader only in that movie, when you see it, like you think that Vader only realizes that he just has a son, and then like I think around that point Vader realized that he had a daughter as well, so he was like, oh, so then now I can use her to turn to the dark side, and she can join me instead, because he's like searching his thoughts and feelings at that time, and he's thinking about Leia. And
I remember about chicken episode where like this is whenever he's all like me and my sister, and he's like, sister, you have, oh god no. And then he just like he goes back and he's just like, listen, he has like chocolates and like flowers and all, because like he sent in that torture drone to her, and he's just like, I'm really sorry. It's just like, I was like back to that, I was like, oh god, could you imagine you torture this woman and you're just like, stupid rebel, and then later on you find out your daughter, you're like, you just look back at her, she's like, you're my dad? It's like, I know what you're thinking.
We're not all great. We're not all heroes.
I did it. No.
Sometimes we fall.
Okay, I thought you were dead.
Like, the weird like Battlefront one with nothing clever to say, Your Highness.
But yeah, no, like I was saying before the podcast as well, like Han Solo isn't really great in the movie in Return of the Jedi. He's okay. He's fine.
How are you?
But I really like. What?
How are you?
That's
Harrison Ford. Like there is a real like clear that he stopped caring after like.
Yeah, no, oh no, yeah. He even like he even said himself, I believe, like he didn't like care about it. I don't know if he cared. I think he cared about the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh yeah, I think it was that one.
I think he cared more than that.
Which I haven't seen in years. I really want to watch back those films because I haven't seen them in a long time. But anyway, Star Wars. Like I love Luke being a full-on Jedi. I love like him like becoming a true Jedi at the end of it, and just like turning his father back to the good side. And the whole part where he takes off Vader's helmet and you can hear the Imperial March theme, and it's like it's not as like menacing. It's like more like kind of I don't want to say mysterious, but it's just like it's more like
it's more like almost upbringing, but still
it's kind of like a very bittersweet like kind of version of it. Like, this is the light side now. You've done it. And he's British, and then in the prequels he's American. Like, tell your sister you were right.
Hey, when you take a dip of lava, you might change a few minutes.
Yeah, maybe I'll change accent when I dip it. I turn Scottish. Yeah, that's my movies that I really enjoy and always go back to from time to time, each like couple of months or whatnot. I wanted to say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because that's like probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, but I went with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man because I quote that movie to death.
I was felt like because I felt like the podcast was all about like live action movies, so I just put those. But then I seen like David talk about, it, and I was just like, oh
yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I just went for the movies that I felt had like more meaning. I felt like just meaning-wise, because I'd have more to talk about. I have an idea for our next like podcast, but I'll come and talk about that there near the end of the podcast.
Obviously, like what you know from my 4 movies, there wasn't really like a thing like, I learned from like Godzilla to just never give up and kickbox the living hell out of everything.
To make my skin scaly and indestructible.
I just mainly watch those movies for extreme entertainment because they're just so fun to watch.
Yeah, they're just very like mindless entertainment just for watching two
camera.
Yeah, just big boys, two big boys slapping each other in the face for like 50 minutes just for fun.
Yeah,
if they sounded like that, that'd be fantastic.
What other like movies, David, would you say would be like in your honorable mentions? Like ones that you were gonna put.
Oh
like,
shit! I did.
I didn't get my list for that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I had to put my glasses back on.
Mine's would have definitely been Spirited Away because that movie's just fun. That's so good.
For Ghibli films, mine's is Princess Mononoke.
And then
like that film's fantastic.
Connor decided to destroy my emotions by showing me both Your Name and Silent Voice at the exact same time.
Okay, right. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna spoil those two movies just in case anyone hasn't seen them.
They are fantastic.
But they are fantastic film. I prefer A Silent Voice more than Your Name, in my opinion, because I love Kyoto animation. But that movie, Silent Voice, I was also in my honorable mention because that hit me so hard, and I related so much to the main character, not because of the whole bullying thing at the beginning of what he did, but just because he was going through after the after effects of everything, and his anxiety and everything else that he was going through. And that movie meant so much to me, and I love it to pieces, and the soundtrack's great. But David, did you want to talk?
No.
I don't want to talk on this podcast anymore.
I can't think of any honorable mentions because
not even.
I have like.
What about Alien?
That's the thing, though. I've like, for our next podcast, I was thinking what we could do is like our top favorite horrors.
Okay.
And just talk about horrors, because I mean that's like, I mean we can obviously vote on what we're going to talk about, because like I just don't know what we're going to be doing for next Saturday.
That's true, but to be fair, I mean, like, we can kind of just, like,
improv?
Riff about that now, even. Like, we can just kind of just talk about, like, some horror movies right now for a bit, if you want to.
I don't know.
Well,
I need to plan out my ones that I actually really
How far are we into this?
Sure.
We're about an hour and
32
a half.
minutes.
An hour and 32 minutes or so, yeah. So,
probably...
I'd just say for me, for like horror films that I really enjoy, I'm not going to go pure in depth with them or anything, but like American Werewolf in London is definitely one of them that I enjoy. That's probably one of my favorite werewolf films, minus Van Helsing, which isn't really a werewolf film, but it has werewolves in them.
It's the new DLC for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, sure. Oh, did you guys watch that Elder Scrolls video I sent?
I've been seeing a bunch of this stuff lately.
Yeah,
I've been seeing like all
yeah,
those.
because like it's just how it's because I showed them a video of like Elder Scrolls Online, at the start of it now there's like a new expansion for Skyrim, I think, and it starts off with you in the carriage like in Skyrim where it's like, hey, you woke up, and I'm just like, oh my god, Todd, you did it again.
I swear, if he
You
comes out
son of
with
a
the
bitch.
PS5 and a new Xbox and he's like, listen,
Skyrim 4K,
Yeah,
60 frames per
like
second,
a full, like another
more
remaster,
maps,
I'd be like, you
more
son of a
Todd.
bitch.
And it's like,
more vampires that you can suck your face on.
You could become a sucker fish. If I could mention, like, because I don't want to dive too much into like horror, so I definitely want to do that for like one separate podcast of like really in
Of
for like
course.
the details of it.
I
and all.
guess if we're gonna cut it as horror, it would definitely be like I'll whenever I'll go into more detail into it, but like obviously the first Godzilla movie, that was just horror. was like warfare and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah, it was like a very big political message about radiation.
And, like,
Don't
just
do wars,
throw
people.
stuff into the oceans.
Yeah, it's like Devil Man.
oh,
It's like
definitely.
don't kill people.
Don't be meanies.
The movie for me would be Ash versus, or not Ash versus Evil, because that's TV series. The Evil Dead.
Evil Dead?
Because it's
classic.
because like obviously common fucking sense. You don't if you find a book that's wrapped up in
The Necronomicon.
like if you find a book, right? Like if you just find a piece of a big solid square that is literally covered in barbed wire and a bunch of other shit, it says don't open, you don't fucking open it. And when you open it and you can't pronounce the words, you don't read it. You don't. Alright? I do not. If you're
Abracadabra.
if you're going to sit there
comes
and
out.
you're going to be like, listen, I don't believe in spirits. I'm going to play with a Ouija board. I'm going to start taunting things that because yes, fair enough. If you don't believe it, then you can fuck right off and go hunting yourself and start
Well,
saying that shit.
you see-
Because I am not going to be with you.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Because like whenever we watch horror movies like that, and we're like, why did they do this? Why did they do this? It's because like I feel like if we ever did go to like some sort of weird abandoned house and whatnot, we were like sleeping there for like some strange reason. Alex is getting possessed right now, but that's okay. Like I don't know, because like, the human mind is so like we're so curious about things, and we would always like. I feel like I would end up like touching some sort of fucking book or something and just dooming us all.
Wait, no, hang on.
Are you alright?
From now on, whenever.
Like fucking Wheezy from fucking Toy Story 2.
Whenever there's a fucking demonic ritual, it should always start off abracadabra and let it rip. It needs to do that.
I was wondering why you were laughing so much. I was like, what happened to you?
Fucking Connor was like, oh, here's it there. And then just Connor be like, oh, Alex being possessed a minute.
But yeah, like I was saying before, I don't know. I feel like I'd be too curious to like. I'd want to know what it is, and I feel like a lot of people would do that as well because we're always so curious about things, and we like. I don't know. If I saw, to be fair, if I did see if like werewolves were a thing, and if I saw like a big massive dog in the woods, I would probably freeze up and stare at it for like 5 minutes.
I know for a fact you wouldn't know what it is.
I'd
right?
die.
You'll hear these crunching of leaves, and then you'll start calling it a piece of shit. Get out of your my goddamn field, blah blah blah. And then you'll say it, and you'll be like, I'm so sorry, Mister. I'm going back in my little hut."
I'm not. It'll be like Home Alone. I'll be like, I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. Shows up in front of my face.
No, I hear like the American Werewolf in London Hell.
Oh no, that would make me book it and shit myself as I run. It's like that video of like the dog on the sleighs and it's running and it's shitting. That'd be me.
Because like right, when I really think like for me personally, you don't mess with shit you don't know, right? If Connor ever went to me and was like, let's go on this like haunted house, I might fuck going out with that guy. I don't give a shit if I've known him for 20 years. I don't give a shit if he's giving me a kidney. I don't care if he's my carer. I am never trusting him when it comes to something
What if I play
paranormal.
You Never Had a Friend Like Me as we go in there?
What?
What if I play You Never Had a Friend Like Me from Aladdin as we go in there?
Yeah, but I'm never going near you in the middle of it.
There was like one day, David is like just on a wheelchair, and we just run towards the haunted house, abracadabra, and let it rip. And we just like go into.
I just know.
Robin Williams comes out.
Because right, personal belief. Just because like this is everything that I believe in. This is just it in a nutshell for me. You don't fuck with Ouija boards because you don't know. Like, fair enough, it may not go for you. You know, because whoever is more open when it comes to paranormal shit, they usually get the worser shit. Connor might just be that stubborn and blocked in. Sorry, but he could be, and therefore, if he triggers a Ouija board, they'd be like, "Nah, fuck that guy. Let's go for that guy. He's the easiest target." That's why I wouldn't trust him, because he'd probably sit there going, "Oh, look at me, I'm a big stinky demon," and then I'm sitting there going, "Bro, cut it out," because then I'm just lifting it in the air, being like partially possessed.
No, like I'm saying it as like it's twisting my entire arm, like 360, like woo.
And another thing. I'm
Just like
sorry,
Bruce Campbell when
Connor,
he gets
but I
possessed.
personally think you could prove me wrong, but we're never going to be in a situation to ever do it. But I feel
Sure.
like if we ever did dig up a book that had bad juju shit in it, he would read it.
I probably, I'd probably get the, like, because I've seen a lot of horror movies in my day, and then if I did see it, I'd be like, you know what? But at the same time, because my beliefs, like, I don't really, like, there's some nights at times when I'm like, maybe there is some
Then when I start
spiritual
talking about it, you're
shit
like,
in this
nah,
world.
it's just a little
Yeah.
thing that goes like psst in the air.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just freaking pinned down all your balloons in Mario Kart.
No, you're like
But,
like I'm like Captain Holt making the balloon wreath thing for Rosa and everything, and then you're like, no, I don't like that. I'm building it because you said you liked it and did paranormal stuff. Then the second I started talking about paranormal, you're like, nah, it can be explained. And I'm Captain Holt just staring at you with like such murder in his eyes, just popping those balloons like you made me to do this.
I do like it, and I do find it really, really interesting, but at the same time, it's like, it just sounds like a lot of hokey. Like, there's a lot of like weird like stuff online and like stories of people with, like, there's that one story of like in this like shop, in this like pawn shop, where there's this chair, and if you sit in it you'll die in the next 24 hours or something, and apparently that happened to some person when he was going on a plane and he died or some shit, which I was like, okay, that seems quite convenient. And then I'm like, because I think I had this conversation with you guys before, I was like, if there was people who were meant to be executed in prison, I'd be like, okay, let's go to that pawn shop, put them in the chair, and see if they die the next day. That's what I
yeah, if it was like that kind of joke. Because I thought you were about to say, like, if someone said to me that this chair, anyone sits in it, they'll die in the next 5 hours, and you just be like, I'll do it. And I'm like, fucking...
I just turned into a big Straban lad whenever it comes to spiritual shit.
Well, that's what I read your voice as anytime we're texting about it. But like, it's like, right, the reason I don't see it as hokey pokey is because I would rather believe that there is multiple things that we don't know about. Because if I just sat and believed, yeah, we're born, we live, we have struggles, we die, that's it. That just seems too black and white, too depressing. I'd rather believe life to have a bit more of a journey and a bit more magic in it than just be black and white and shit. I'd rather a bit of grey in there.
So you'd like if just Cthulhu dropped in for a visit?
Yeah, like if Cthulhu came in, I'd be like, I'm terrified, but I'm glad to know my belief wasn't flawed. You know, I would be like that. Plus, what's going on right now is pretty much chaos everywhere. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it popped in April. No, not April. We're past that.
Like
September.
When you think, when you were talking about like Cthulhu, all I could think about was like JonTron's video Dungeons and Dragons, where like they were playing, like those people were playing D&D, and like all their like actions was actually trying to summon Cthulhu or something like that.
Every D&D is actually like a worship and like a cult thing to make it happen.
From that weird like religious like web comic series that guy made, that he got like a ton of freaking money for, which is mad. But when it comes to like all that stuff, like I can totally agree with David's point of view of like not wanting to see the world as bleak as it is and wanting to have some hope that there's something out there. I do believe that we're not the only thing. Like, I do want to believe that we're not the only people in this universe, and that there's other things, even if it's not incredibly intelligent. It's like a little tiny like spot. It's like and it's just moving about and it's not even doing anything. Like, I'd be like, oh cool, there's some intelligent, well, not intelligent, but there's some life out there.
Hold your little fucking tits right there, mister.
Sure.
Okay, on here, you're saying that you believe in other life that could be out there, but the last time we talked about it on PS4, you said you'll believe it when you see it. Are you serious?
I said they're not in the podcast that I'd want to believe.
Oh, you'd want? Alright, okay, fair enough. I'll back down. Hold your fire.
What do you see now? I feel like I'm gonna watch this back, and then I didn't say that, and I'm like, oh no.
And I was in the comments going, I know it, and then I like actually like put in the title of what I quoted. Just be like,
even if I didn't like say it, my intentions were to say that like I want
intentions were true.
Simple geography.
Simple geometry.
Simple geography.
Simple philosophy.
Oh man, Alex, what about your beliefs and stuff of spiritual and universal and your own Alexander the Great beliefs?
What?
Are you kidding me? Where were you this whole conversation?
Are we joking? But for me, I ghosts for me, like I kind of think they're real and stuff.
Okay.
And demons and stuff, but if we're talking like things like Bigfoot and vampires, werewolves, that I'm not entirely sure.
Of course, they're definitely like. It's just I keep on. Anytime someone mentions Bigfoot, I just think back to Only Plays, where it's like, you can talk.
What's the bit of a Game Grumps where Dan just like this wee story about Bigfoot and goes like, ah! But I'm a wee bit back and forth with it. Like, I find it interesting, but there's also like things like, oh, look at this, it's like this teacup is floating. I'm like, okay, and then like you just want to like, hang on, you could be stringing that.
It could be like it could be like a string of like a fishing rod. But like there has been things in my life that have never been like explained in a way. But like I can always like come to the assumption of like some things that might have happened. The only thing that I still don't understand what happened, and I'll never understand it, is when me and my neighborhood friends, my childhood friends at the time, we were kicking this little ball around. It fell underneath the car. We checked underneath the car. The ball was completely gone. That has nothing. It obviously has nothing to do with spiritual shit, but like it made me feel like something just took it and just fucked off.
Or it was hiding behind one of the wheels.
But like we checked everywhere and it was gone. And the other one, which I know, like this one definitely wasn't like a spiritual entity thing, because it was like on a Halloween night or whatever, or it was. I don't think it was it was some night where me and my next door neighbor, when we were younger and kids, we were walking down our lane, and we like live in somewhat in the country, and we were walking down my lane. We were talking about some witch stuff or whatever, I believe, or just trying to spook ourselves, and then we heard the loudest cackle of like some woman, and it sounded like a witch, and we like sprinted so far to like where cars were and everything just to make sure we were safe. And around that time, you know that there big house where you go down like the middle part of the lane and there's that big house with the fence and the dog. That house wasn't there at the time, and it was just like there was nothing else there. And I assume it had to be some of the neighbors behind us or something, like going mad or whatnot, or some teenagers over in the fields like drinking and laughing. But that really left a mark on me as a kid. I like freaked out, and I just came home thinking she's gonna eat me.
She's not gonna do any hocus pocus. She's gonna straight up eat me.
I had like one like where I was like in my high school years. My mum, I was just messing about with my dog. She took a wee picture of it, and then like in the reflection of one of the just the glass kind of things. I don't know what it was, like a case thing. You could kind of make out like a weird face, almost. It's like right behind me, but. Oh, like that's really like the most thing when it comes to spiritual stuff. Besides the fact, obviously, I hear weird stuff and it freaks me out. And I'm like, ugh.
Okay. The only thing, now that you said about the face thing, the only thing that made me think that there was actual spiritual stuff, or like, well, like I don't know, it could have been like the mind of someone. But like, whenever I was with my ex at the time, and then I would go to her new house, and it was like this old house in Belfast. And in her attic, she was saying to me like, "There's this drawing, there's art picture." In the attic, and it's a faceless person. And I was just like, okay, that's kind of creepy. And then I was telling the guys about it, and then I don't know if did I freak you guys out about that?
You didn't freak me out, you pissed me off.
Oh, because I went into the attic?
Yeah, because when you went off that chat, I went to Alex and we were chatting privately and all, and I was sitting, that motherfucker, if he touches that thing and he starts having bad luck, he's done. Dead. I don't care. I'm not his friend anymore. That's it. And then Alex was like, oh god. And then you sat there and go, wasn't that scary? And I was like, okay. And then you said that you touched a cane, and then I was like, oh my god, Connor. And then like after you touched the cane, then you're like, I wanted to take it home but I couldn't. And I was like, you wanted to take it.
Yeah, but I mean like if right, okay. If I was hearing weird noises in the attic each night, and if I would be like, okay, I'm not going to go up to the attic. I'm not going to do that. But since there was no noises, there was nothing at all. There was just this collection of cool-ass canes, some weird books, plates, old-timey stuff, this clock, creepy dolls, and then there was just that painting that was really, really weird. And I kind of liked it. But, yeah,
right.
That's it.
There's that. But what if you took that cane out of where its original spot is, and then in your house, shit went south?
I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I'd be like, told you.
And then
Yeah,
I
but-
pull,
yeah, but
I
I
like
like-
pull
like,
out the
I
actual
just-
cane. I'm like, see? And then when I pull it out, it actually has an Necronomicon in it. I'm like, do you see?
Yeah, but like the only thing I'd say to the spirit, I'd be like, all right, if you break my consoles, we're gonna have a problem.
I didn't know it was for your mum. The house has already fallen apart at some point.
Hey, it's still here.
Wait, your
It's not as
your
bad. It's not as
mum
bad as you're making it out to
literally
be.
calls the house the money pot. I think it's called. It's that movie because I saw it on Netflix and I am going to watch that movie because your mum wanted me to do it and I was like, I'm going to fucking do this.
Okay.
That's Tom Hanks in
I haven't
it.
seen
It's
that movie
really good.
myself, so I don't know.
It's just
Oh,
the way
Tom
the
Hanks, hey,
bathtub
nice.
falls through the actual seal, then like they're just looking down, and then Tom Hanks
Oh,
just
that's
goes,
right. I did see that scene. So I did in Netflix for that. But my recent movie I was watching was freaking Groundhog Day because I never watched it
Oh, I
fully
love that movie.
when I was younger, and it was a great movie. And then we watched on I think it was G's Discord. We watched the sequel to Zombieland 2. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that. No,
No.
Do you want me to tell you the ending part?
no,
That's fantastic
do
in
not
it.
tell me.
Okay. I'll keep it a secret.
I don't want to know.
No.
But not when we were talking there about like beliefs and stuff. Here's one thing. I know people might call me like, "Oh, how ironic! You contradicted blah blah." Right? I don't believe in Jesus.
Oh, wait, right.
Right? When it comes to one big God, I don't believe in that. That's some priests right now. Because to me, the logic is something has to have a creation process, right? This is why, for me, when I'm trying to sleep at night, I like to think that we're just a part of a paradox and we're just fucked, okay? Because when I think of space, they say space is infinite, and I'm like, right, but what created space? And then if I found out the answer to that, I'd be like, okay, then what created you?
The
and
Big
if they
Bang.
say, okay, what created? Yeah, but what created the Big Bang?
I don't know. Is this
Exactly, no one knows.
season
You
of
can-
events?
it does not settle in my head. I need to know what caused the Big Bang.
But you'll never know.
I need to know the creation
hang on,
process. I need to know
hang on.
that what came first.
a lot of
but you'll
people
never know.
a lot of people in their lives have tried to dedicate to figure out what happened, and they
Come
never
on,
did.
get back on your wheel. Start cracking.
I'll
They gotta
call
worry
the
about the
doctor
coronavirus
and
first.
he'll sort it out.
Because like literally, I
Yeah.
can't like if I found this being that was like I created myself, I'd be like, I kind of find it hard to believe, mate. Kind of find it hard to believe.
I don't know. I think we had this conversation before of like a god creating himself, where like he just like he spoots out an arm and he's like, oh, and he starts slapping parts of his body to make himself
Wasn't he just
whole.
like because
Like,
you
he's like,
know the way when
"Oh."
you're actually a fetus in the belly,
Yes.
you're an asshole and
Yeah.
then you become the person. Like that's literally how you like develop inside out, kind of. So if like a god went and said I created myself, he practically was just an asshole, just enveloped himself.
Well, what if it's like Space Odyssey, where it's just a giant ass star baby?
Space Odyssey, Space Odyssey, Space Odyssey.
It's the one where Hal the robot was like, I can't let you in, Dave. You can look it up if you if you're confused
I
about it.
Dope. Hang on. Let me look this up.
2001 Space Odyssey?
Space Odyssey.
That's a really good
Is it
movie if you
Odyssey or
haven't seen it.
Oddity? No, that's a song.
Odyssey?
Odyssey.
Like Mario Odyssey.
2001.
Yeah.
I've never.
It wasn't made in 2001, but
seen this movie.
oh, it's a classic. Give it a good watch.
No, I've never not once seen that movie.
Oh, I'd recommend it very much. It's very like a big mindfuck.
I do need to
movie.
watch Interstellar though.
I haven't seen that either, so I need to watch it as
The fun
well.
thing is, another shout out to our main man Oren. He was on Instagram. He has this like thing where it says like it's like a calendar, and you name out like you put up a picture of like the one thing that it asked
Oh,
for.
in his Instagram,
Yeah, and
right?
he has like the most favorite soundtrack was Tron, and I watched that back. Like anytime I see him put up something like I'm watching that, it's like I know I like it.
Yeah, like didn't Daft Punk do the music for that
Yeah.
as well? Yeah, it's there's some good tracks in it. I like the ones like. That's probably so
Yeah,
pretty cliche when it comes to movie
There's
soundtracks.
no beat. It just sounds like you going.
I don't know, but it's but like if I find the track, I'll let you listen to it because the bass in it's like really great. I know you like your bass.
Yeah, drop the bush. But no, my mum was like, every time I just went downstairs one point, and then she was saying like, "Do you believe in God?" And I was like, "Oh, here we fucking go," because she's all about like God. He's the one about he's
Hail
all
Satan.
love. He's all this. He's all that. And I'm just like, no, it just doesn't make sense, Jackie. It doesn't make sense, Jackie. Because like, it's like when I heard that like speech that Stephen Fry said, when he's like, you know, if God has a plan for everything, like whenever someone says this is God's plan, I don't get that, because if God's plan is to have Australia set on fire, to have such horrible things happen on Earth, what are we learning from that? Like it does
like
not
right
make
now
sense.
Like right now with all this like racism stuff,
Yeah,
like was that what God wants?
If that's part of God's plan, it makes no sense to me. Like, why does he want the whole world to fight each other, murder each other? What's the point? It makes no sense at all.
It's funny too, because when some people who are like very religious try to use violence, I'm just like, man, you worship a man who came down to Earth and taught people how to love one another, no matter who they were or what they looked like, what they were into. Like that's what he preached. He didn't preach stoning people to death or anything like that.
Especially when you see, because I only know like when it comes to like neo-Nazis, I only learned this from Sons of Anarchy, so I could be horribly wrong, but I kind of don't think I am. But like, they usually use the term of like it was God's way, like God was white and all. I'm like, that's just no. You're literally just changing your belief pattern to what you think is okay. That you're just using the name for something else to make up your own excuse.
I think Jesus was a real person, but he wasn't holy. Like,
he
wasn't, like a god. I think like he was just this like really chill, mellow guy.
This is probably not the right way to say it, but I just imagine being a magician. He did a bit of magic, and people going like, "Nah, cross."
But like, I wouldn't even say God is technically pure good, because I mean,
I doubt that.
He did kill people.
No.
Well,
sure. At the end of the Bible, like he just creates genocide for like people who are bad, and just like,
I mean, sure
like,
enough,
destroys the
Are
earth.
we all bad then?
Because apparently when Judgment Day happens, all the good people go to heaven and whatnot, and then all the bad people stay on Earth and
I just know
burn.
for a fact, me, you, and Alex are going to have a "this is the end" moment.
Oh yeah,
We're going to be stuck
definitely.
here until we start complimenting each other and looking up at the sky. We're like, "Yeah, that's really nice of you to say." It's like waiting to be
because
people.
like it's because like the rules of like religion and everything and whatnot is just, they're so like odd, because it's just like you can't have sex until you're married, or like, and you can't I'm trying to think of other ones to think. See, I'm not like I used to go to the church a lot when I was younger with my mum, only because I had to, because I couldn't be left home alone, and I respect my mum for like what she believes in and whatever, and that's fine. Like I totally get, if anyone like believes in God or what, I'm like, sure, yeah, go ahead, that's your beliefs, that's fine, do what you want, as long as you're not like hurting anybody in the process, or like forcing it upon someone who doesn't really care about that kind of thing. But I don't know where I was going with it. Oh yeah, it was just the whole fact of like religion, and like some of the things you can and can't do are a bit too much, and it kind of makes me feel like, okay, like if when I was a kid and I stole like this like 2p Jack Black
Blackjack, you mean?
blackjack from a store, does that mean I'm gonna pay for those?
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna immediately go to hell to burn for just 2p.
Yeah, and burn in hell for doing that. Like I know I've probably done. I know I've as a child and a teenager, I've done a lot of awful stuff.
Yeah.
But and like I do regret that a lot. But at the same time, I was a child, and I don't think that's really fair, God, if you're gonna kill me for being a child.
What we see and regret that we did as a child was very minimal compared to what is done today. Like in like this present day, we have done.
Yeah.
The only thing we've done as a crime is self-damage our bank accounts with the amount of games we're buying. That is the only horrible thing we can do. All right, we're just making life harder for ourselves when it comes to that part. But like, it's like whenever as well when people say like Greek mythology makes more sense because there was a god. You know, they were very like, you know, they're assholes basically to some degree, and I'm like, yeah, I believe that, but I don't believe that they're actually our god. Like it's hard to believe that there's someone up there playing chess with us down here unless you're a sadist. You know what I mean? It genuinely doesn't make sense to me. Like as well with churches.
It would.
churches that, like, when I last went to church, I went in like, because I was older, so I got to see a lot more going on, and I could just tell there were people dressed up all fancy, being like, you know, oh, look at that, like, nice dresses, hats, their husbands sitting there and all, and I was like, all right, fair enough. And then they were just looking at each other and, like, talking about, like, look at her over there, and I'm like, you just come here to gossip and see who got the better, like, household. Your husband's probably cheating on you. You're probably cheating on him. Your kid couldn't give a shit. He's probably using your bank card as is. And then the actual freaking priest is just talking about politics. I went to my cousin's communion, and the priest literally said, "No one invites Jesus to play video games." Well, no shit. Like, I was like, oh my god, this can't. You cannot tell me you just said that on a communion in a church. You have a go at everyone for saying other things, but you literally just said no one's inviting him to a party chat on PSN. You kidding me right now? Hey, Jesus!
I would.
I mean, Jesus probably played a couple of games back in the day. No, obviously.
He did like, how far can you chuck the rock? Just a
But like,
he played a couple games with Satan when he was
playing
starving
Apex
himself
of
to death.
Satan, so he did.
with the whole
I hope
thing
there's
with
not a lot of
religion,
religious people watching this.
Like, I don't mind, like, the whole religion thing. It's just, I don't really know what to, like, believe in, like, what how we're made and us and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
What else? And, like, fine enough. Pray to God, whatever. Like, just don't push it on the other.
Yeah.
Don't use it to do not use it to push agendas. Dear God, no. And and also don't kill people with that excuse. With that,
Yeah.
just don't.
Yeah.
Just sit on your knees, put your hands together, and sing some mumble jumble, and
Like,
that's it.
See, like, it's so funny that we keep on saying this kind of stuff, like, and we're like, don't do this, don't do that, and like, our understanding and whatnot about, like, religion and everything isn't, like, fantastic and whatnot, and obviously we don't know, like, the belief system in other
true.
countries and everything like that as well as we would, because we don't do the research for that kind of stuff, and it's just like us going like, don't do that, and I just imagine them just like watching us like slapping their laptop off or whatever, like, I don't give a
I'll just look at us like, who do you think
You
you
don't
are
understand.
telling us what to do?
Yeah. And I hope people doesn't take that. I hope people don't.
Yeah,
take that
we
the
don't
wrong
mean
way.
it. We're not
Like,
telling you how you should live your life. We're just saying that it's just not.
we're just
It's just not accepted.
It's just
everywhere.
not something. It's just not something we do in our mindset.
Yeah.
That's like, it's something we wouldn't. We're like, we may swear and make silly jokes all the
Yeah.
time, but we're very peaceful, shy hobbits in this.
We are
You're the Hobbit.
fair.
Don't you ever call me a
Yeah,
Hobbit?
you're Gandalf.
Hey, I'm damn near close to a hobbit. I live in the attic here.
I'd say you're Alex. You're more of a Gimli. You're more of a dwarf than a hobbit.
Yeah. Your craft.
What's should we do the little thing
About this.
Sure.
principle
Yeah.
and
Like,
justice.
well, consider we're talking about political stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this past like week and a half now, right? I
I think it's a week and a half.
Or
I
it's
think
been-
it's actually still pretty recent.
Yeah, I think it's been going on for this week though,
I think
right?
it's just been
About
a
a
week.
week,
Yeah,
I
I think a
think.
week. Yeah.
So, people who
The whole
are
world
not in
should
the loop
know
and don't
about it by
understand.
now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. So, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Right. This is a
Every-
this is a big, very, very big, very delicate topic, and the reason why we didn't really talk about it before is just because we're not very well. At least I'm not very political,
I'm not
and I
either.
feel like we're not very political people. Or words. I feel like if I tried to like say something good about it, my words wouldn't really resonate with a lot of people because I've never lived in the conditions, or
Yeah.
I've never had the lifestyle of most of these like people, and like seeing the stuff on Twitter and what's happening and how the police are treating them.
It's
and
unacceptable.
The friends I've had too who just get stopped by the police just because for no reason, because they're having a bad day and they just want to treat them like shit, and that really just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because no one in this planet should ever treat someone lesser than a human being, because we are all the same. Like, everybody is the exact same. It doesn't matter like what you believe in or whatnot. We have the same heart, soul, and mind, people. Like
it doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are. Just
Exactly.
like you're human, and every human deserves to be treated equally. Like it's just
Exactly.
that's just that simple. But
And there's this video my friend, because we live in Ireland, and I don't think we'd be the right. I don't feel like. You see, now even as I'm saying this, it doesn't even feel like the right words to say, or someone might take it out of
it's
context.
just like a kind of delicate subject because like
It's so delicate, and
we
it's
don't
just,
want
like,
it to
the
be
fact of, like,
misinterpreted in any way.
No,
We don't
not
mean
at all.
it in,
Absolutely not.
We're completely with the Black Lives Matter. We're not in any
yeah,
way
like,
are we
I'm-
like saying like the cops are in the right, because the cops are completely wrong with what they're doing.
Oh,
How
no,
they're treating this
absolutely
entire
not. No,
subject
they-
is
the,
awful.
the cops are complete morons.
And the thing too is, like, I love that people are protesting for this. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that people are finally making a stand, and people are doing all these posts and petitions. And there's like a really good YouTube video that I will link into the description of this video, and it's basically a charity for all that. And all it is, right, is just the video is just completely full of ads. You let the ads play out, all that money will go to a charity for Black Lives Matter, and it's a really good video. Mind you, as well, I haven't really done a lot of research into this whole thing. So again, forgive me if things get taken out of context or if I say something the wrong way. I can't I can't emphasize that enough,
Yeah.
because even if I'm talking about something that's not incredibly delicate, people can take it the wrong way, and then I feel awful about it, because I really do care about this stuff.
Like
and
me,
it sucks.
me and the guys, we would be helping out in that protest, but at the end of the day, we still have to manage with the coronavirus.
Exactly.
So because
yeah.
we
Like,
have, my mother, for me anyway, she is a high risk. So if I went out, I got sick and I didn't know, and I passed it to her, I wouldn't be able to live myself knowing I just got my mum sick with the corona. Like, fair enough, my granddad survived it. He only has one lung and he's got every disease under the sun. Don't know how the hell he's still kicking, but he's going
Yeah,
somewhere.
he's got the luck card.
He's got the reverse. He's sending it somewhere else.
No, you.
That's like, but like I don't know if my mum would be as lucky. So that's why I never want to risk that. But if there was no corona, trust me, the whole, like, when it comes to Derry, like where we live, Derry is so far packed full of people protesting, and there's police over there fining them 70 quid for every time they protest, which is completely wrong. They should not. No one should be getting fined. What the police should be doing, they should just be sticking to their regime, stopping actual crimes, because these people aren't actually vandalizing or anything. They're just outside the Guildhall, and they're just doing what they want to do for a protest. That's it.
Yeah. As well too, there was this fantastic video I saw on Twitter where, like, it was one of the riot team of the policemen, and one of them was black, and they were just shouting "Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter," and you could see the guy in the riot outfit, like, he was mimicking what they were saying, like Black Lives Matter. You could see, like, the lip sync of him doing it, and then some guy in the crowd was like, "Oh my god, he's saying it!" And I was like, "Yes!" It's like, it's working. like he feels it, you know. But like, he looked so scared at the same time, and I felt so bad for him. But sorry, Alex, you go.
Like,
you say what you want to say.
It's so just. I don't really like when it comes. Every time I see it, I'm just like, God damn it! Can you please
exactly.
fix your act?
It makes me feel so disappointed to be white.
It does, yeah. I really do feel disappointed.
I hate it so much. It pisses me off, because, like, all these horrible people, like, you see, because even when I say, like, racism is awful.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever freaking be racist, or, like, it's pissing me off when I think about it.
Like,
just realizing that there's people
no
out there
one-
still do, like, just they don't.
No one
care.
should be treated as like a second-class citizen. Like, we're all
No,
human.
absolutely
We're
not.
all the same.
Exactly. And the fact that it's been going on for years and years, and nobody has been speaking about it enough. It's like, people have speaked about it from time to time, but it's never been to this scale, and I'm so glad it is. And Donald Trump has been a cunt about
he
everything.
has, yeah.
Oh,
And
when
I
is
just
he
want him
not?
to stop.
When is he not?
I think Barack Obama posted this, like, really great tweet about the whole thing. I can't remember it from word from word, but if anyone wants to know about it, I'll also put that in the link in the description as well. If anyone wanted to see what he said about the whole thing and about the protests.
There is
and
one thing
whatnot.
that I have, like, been really curious about, and I started seeing people start talking about it more, and then I thought, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Where the hell is Donald Trump throughout all this?
Oh,
Like, I've heard about what his latest speech was. He said that, like, he literally said the words that George Floyd, may he rest in peace, he didn't say the rest in peace, but like he said George Floyd would be looking down and thinking that this is a good day. That is fucked up to say. The amount of pandemonium, the amount of horrible injuries and death tolls that's been happening because of police abusing their power, white police that are just abusing it all. It just does not click in my head, because they're wearing a badge and we're wearing a uniform that you're meant to look at and think, right, he's going to protect us. But there's black people out there that can't actually feel that way. They're going to feel like they're in trouble.
No.
The second, like, even if they've done nothing wrong, they have to literally fear people wearing that uniform. That's not the way it should be.
No, that's not how anyone should live. Like, because just like, if I was black, right, and if I had a daughter, I would be so.
I'd be terrified.
Or a daughter or son or just children. I'd be terrified for the next generation.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Brooklyn 99 with Terry.
Yeah,
and like he's a cop, and he still got stopped for what he did.
Daughter's Teddy.
Exactly, yeah. And like he was saying, because there's a really good line in that show where he's like, I'm so scared for what's going to happen to my kids.
Yeah.
Because they won't be a police officer. They'll just be a normal citizen, like just a black person in the streets, and just be like
misjudged and whatnot.
Police officer just come over and just judge, and it's so stupid.
Because I remember seeing like an actual video. It was on Facebook of a little, like a literal child, a black child, that went to a police officer. Are you going to shoot me? No child should ever come out with those words. Like
no, I remember
I've heard kids talk about like, you know, them like fair enough. These kids were on medication at the time, and it was really, because I was on that medication myself, so I know it was the medication that was doing it. But they started talking about how they wanted to kill themselves, and hearing a child say that was fucked up. But hearing a child going up to another person thinking they're going to shoot me, that's just hearing a child worry for their life when they should just be thinking of like the next thing they're going to do at home, the mess they're going to make, the toys they're going to play with, all the joy. And then right now, this generation of children is going to fear for their lives when they should just be excited about going home and playing games and
I don't know. I'm so happy for Finn's actor.
What's his name again?
John Boyega.
John Boyega. Like man, that man was so inspirational when I watched that video. Like just seeing how passionate he was for it and everything, and just seeing him in the streets with all the people, and he just didn't give a damn. And then J.J. Abrams was like, hell yeah, man. Like, and Mark Hamill was supporting him and everything, and I was just like, yes.
Also,
this is so
David, where Trump has been, like, for the most part, he's been hiding in a bunker.
Yeah, he's actually been trying to say that he's been inspecting the bunker. No, you fucking weren't. You tanned freak.
Yeah, I miss Obama.
I do as well.
Like,
I miss that man so much.
With over 50 states in, I believe it is America, like North America, like all just protesting, and you got all their countries as well doing the same. It's like, yeah, Trump, and also world, fix your shit. like just
like,
fix.
You see,
if now, I'm not really just gonna toot my own horn here, but if I have the brain power to be like, right, racism bad, no. If I can do that, surely everyone else can. It's like, it's not.
You see, that's true. Like, but like at the end of the day as well, like people have all these different types of mindsets and different types of beliefs, as we talked about before, and like it's just the fact of like you could easily say to someone, like, why are you being racist? You know it's wrong. Stop doing it. And then they'd be like, no, it's correct. It's the right thing. We are pure and they're not pure, or whatever stupid shit they spout. But like, I just wanted to say as well too, like, I remember when I first saw the riots and stuff, I kind of got worried because I thought that there was going to be this big, massive outbreak and people, a lot of innocent people were going to get killed.
I personally thought, I was worried about the corona spike. I thought there was, like, everyone's going to come right back.
There was a thing, I was like, I don't know how many years it goes back, but like, a protest got so serious that, like, it just, I don't know what the context was, but a lot of people got killed in that. Like, just Jesus. A lot.
You see, that's the thing, right? Because I don't want anybody to get hurt at all. I don't want anyone to have to worry about their sons or daughters or like their brothers and sisters, their wives or husbands getting killed over this protest or these riots. Like, I don't mind the peaceful protests, they're fine because they're being peaceful. It's the cops that piss me off about that whole thing. But when people start rioting and start throwing stones in the buildings and everything like that, and all the property damage, I worry about that. But at the same time, as I'm saying it, I haven't gone through what they've gone through. I don't know what would be going through my mind at that point.
See, the thing is, I want to just say a huge thank you to the people that throughout the process, the protest, that have actually been putting themselves in front of store windows to avoid people going to looters. I've been seeing videos of these people that would chain link together and say, "Don't do it. Do not smash this place up." Because it's kind of like there's become like two separate parts of the protest and the rioting. There's the people that are trying to do it for like the Black Lives Matter, and then there seems to be some people that are just not knowing how to handle it and are just going straight to violence, which is fair. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a victim of racism, so I wouldn't know how it would make me angry or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I can't sit here and be like, oh no, I'd be able to keep a straight mind and all their shit. Because I fucking would not. But as well, I want to just say, I'm not just throwing this in because he's a white guy. It's just because it's, again, and the reason it pisses me off is because of the police at the point of view of this. It was a Buffalo police, and it was an elderly man who was walking by, and he got pushed over, and he hit the back of his head off of concrete. Now, the reason this pisses me off is because elderly people are like babies; they're fragile, right? So this old man was pushed,
like an egg.
and he fell, and he hit the back of his head off concrete, and blood immediately seeped out of his ear, and no one would help him. And then one man that was protesting for Black Lives Matter came by, and then he was immediately arrested. And that just pisses me off, because this is what, if the police are thinking, I don't know what to do about this, listen, throughout the whole of quarantine, people have lost jobs, people don't have money, the whole economy is going to go to shit anyway. So if you don't want to be part of this rioting, stop being a police officer, throw your shit down, be like, I'm done, I'm just done. And then there won't be that many police, and then the civilians, they won't have to be violent, because what's to be violent over? There's no one getting in their way.
I don't know. I feel like they would find a way until they get what they want. That's like when it will all stop. And sorry, Alex, you go.
Oh, okay, I'll just real quick. Also, like, whenever like you have those moments, like if protests get a bit violent, it's okay to like defend yourself. But here's a wee tip, cops, so-called people for the peace. When you have a gun that shoots a rubber bullet, and you aim at a guy's, pardon me for swearing here, if you aim for his fucking eye, and his eye comes out, that's on you, and you should pay dearly for that.
No,
they're not meant to be...
It is against the law for the police to shoot near the eye. They have to shoot from the legs.
It's a rubber bullet! It's not a little pea shooter. It's going to take out their goddamn eye. You're not meant to aim there, you idiots! Anyway.
I remember seeing these two guys protest on Twitter as well, and they were just standing there, and the cops were like super far away from them, and they started moving forward, and then they were still standing there, and then they both got shot. It was probably by the rubber bullets, but when I saw it, I was just like, come on, guys. Like,
you know,
and it makes me feel bad for some of the police force in America, because some of them are probably like really genuine
they're
good
actual
cops,
good guys, but they're being
and they're doing
bad.
their job, and then it's just because of all this social media stuff showing all the bad and everything, and it's just like,
one thing I will say,
it makes me upset on all grounds of everything that's happening. Like, every day it's just like,
I have seen on Facebook quite a few, and I'm glad to see this. During the Black Lives Matter protest, there is a lot of like people filming cops that are genuinely good cops. They're good guys. They're actually having a laugh with the people and all that. And I'm like, this is what I like to see. But then there was this other cop. I don't know what happened, but he must have been abusing other protesters, and then the guy was FaceTiming with his son, and he pulled up his phone going to, and then the son was on the phone, and then the protester said, like, how do you feel knowing that your dad is beating protesters? And the kid's like, I'm kind of disappointed, and my dad has to come home. And then the cop was trying to turn off his phone. He was like, so you know yourself that your son's disappointed in you for coming back home after you just beat the shit out of people that are just trying to, rise up to something that is like unacceptable. And then the cop did look at him kind of like, just kind of thinking about it, being like, maybe shit, I am doing the wrong thing. But see, this is the thing, he could look like that, but fuck knows what's going to go on in his head later on. He might just think, get even more pissed off and be even more violent. But the thing is, the cops have tasers, pepper spray, batons. They have so much weaponry that they do not need. And there's also one other video that I saw that till this day, I've never been so angry that I literally I didn't know what to do. I literally was just pacing my room. This was a video, I think it was in Austria, of a woman. I don't know if it was about Black Lives. I couldn't see the sign, but it was either Black Lives. It was about the corona, or it was about the earth or something. It was along one of them things. But this woman was sitting with her son. She had her phone in her hand. She was not screaming. She was doing nothing. She had a sign over her torso with her child in her, holding her hand. These police came up, grabbed this woman's hand, and they told her, "You're under arrest." She said, "On what grounds?" They refused to tell her. She said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to move unless you tell me what grounds I'm arrested on." She said, "I'm not going to tell you what grounds you're arrested on. You're just arrested." And then she said, "This makes no sense." And then the kid, obviously, if you're this child was probably, I think, 6 years old. So he was screaming, like he was terrified. I mean, when you hear your mother's being arrested, you don't know what the fuck's going on. Now, this one wasn't black now. I'm not trying to say it's any different or anything, but
no,
she was with her child, and then this fucking Sasquatch comes over, 7 foot tall beast, comes up, unnecessary by the way. This woman that they were arresting was, I'd say, 5'7". She was skinny, but she got mother's strength, so you don't fuck with her. But then this guy came over, and then he started prying her again, literally forcing her into the back of a van, saying, "You're arrested, you're under arrest." And then this cop was, the child was screaming, saying, "Let go of my mum," trying to kick them. And she had to try and, this poor woman was stressing over, "My child, I don't want you going for any stress, but why the fuck are you arresting me? I don't understand this." And then it hit a point where the girl managed to run out, grab onto these metal bars as the kid was screaming, and then cops separated all these people with their phones out as these cops literally ripped this child away from the mother as she was holding on, and chucked the mother into the van and held the son.
Jesus Christ.
The son had to watch all that as he was kicking and screaming. And then one guy just said, "Just leave the kid with us, for fuck's sake." And then then the cop went, "We're not just going to leave the kid with some randomers." And I was like, "You're the randomers. You just fucking grabbed this child from the mother and took him. You literally just what the fuck do you think is... No way is this kid going to come out any way good. The mother's going to be constantly pissed off. And you're arresting them for doing nothing. This is why I literally think... I know no one will ever agree with it, but I personally feel the law what we deem as the law has to be rewritten. It needs to be removed and redone, because all that's being hired is fucking racists and people that want to abuse power. There is such a high majority in the police industry that are just doing that. Because yes, there are some that are purely good, but unfortunately there is more bad than there is good, and that's just fucked up.
And just seeing these innocent people who are just protesting, wanting things equal, they're going to jail where obviously slots are going to get filled up, and they're going to be with people that are not nice in the slightest at all, and who knows if they'll even get out or not, because sometimes it's people that are innocent and they just have to stay there for 40 years or something.
Meanwhile, there's a little criminal that's been a mass murderer, and you can't arrest him because there's not enough space, because you've been arresting all these protesters.
Meanwhile, there's this rapist who raped freaking 16 children or whatever, and he's only in jail for 10 years.
It's probably 10 months, and then it's alright, good behaviour, out you go.
Yeah, out you go.
So stupid. Ted Bundy, for fuck's sake. He only had a few months. Good behaviour. He got out even earlier. I mean, literally, what's the point in the system? The system is just flawed entirely. It's not there for anyone's benefit. It's just literally, you get more time in prison for copyright than you do for literally taking someone's fucking life.
Yeah.
It's just so asshat backwards, man.
I just hope and I pray to God that this doesn't escalate any further, it doesn't get violent, and that a lot of horrible stuff doesn't happen. And I just hope to God that finally they can feel equal, and they can not be afraid anymore to go on the streets, and they can have a nice day with their families and friends, because I want that more than anything right now in this world. I just want them to be okay. Everyone
just has to help each other. There can't be, and this entire virus, and now this whole thing, this protest, it's exposed the bad Inhumans. Like just
Yeah.
There's one thing
we can be big pieces of shit if we want.
Like, there's one thing as
Pretty
well I've
badly.
noticed about the news is like we haven't heard jack shit about the coronavirus. It's almost as like last Friday it got cured, right? I haven't heard jack shit about it.
It's been bizarre.
And the
right?
fucking reason that's going on is because the news is finding a new way of making money. To them, it's just money. Like, fair enough, yes, I'm glad I'm learning more about what's going on in the world to keep up to date, to know what if people are okay and whatnot. But when they found out about the protests, they're just going, alright, just view that. As far as we're concerned, coronavirus doesn't exist anymore. Just make people watch that there. Because literally, they confessed that they weren't getting enough views on the live broadcast. But I'm sorry, who the fuck wants to listen to Boris Johnson carry on talking about go outside but don't go outside, do this but don't do that? Shut up, you Jaffa cake! Like, Jesus Christ. You don't even know what you're saying. You have an earpiece in your ear that's picking up a radio broadcast from fucking Taco Bell, and you don't even know what the hell you're fucking saying. So do not sit there and...
He really does like
he's literally just Jabba the Hutt.
he looks like a Muppet every time I see him. Like, it's just the way his hair is, the way it flops about.
Like, the fact...
It just makes me think he's a
Because
puppet.
there's him who says, go outside but don't go outside, who is just, oh my fucking god, shut up. And then you have the other guy, Cummings. Well, sorry, I thought my second name was bad. Your name's far fucking worse, right? But you literally told people, do not go to hospitals. Doesn't matter if your child is dying of cancer or whatnot. You don't go and visit them during Corona. But you have the Corona, you feel sick, and then you go and visit your fucking grandparents. You go on a 250-mile fucking drive to go see your grandparents to leave your kid there, and then you don't even leave your kid there. You just spreaded it, you jackass. Like, what the fuck are you on about? Then you travel back home, and then you start saying, I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. But then the second someone goes to the hospital, go visit their child who is literally dying, they get fined. Even carers, literal key workers that have to put their child into a daycare place to be looked after while they go and risk their lives to fix something, they get fined. You did jack fucking shit, but you're fined? You don't get fined? I'm sorry, but clearly the Jaffa cake that's walking, telling everyone to stay inside, he is clearly the puppet, as you're the one sitting there being like, oh no, listen, he only hired me, I'm not in control, but I'm not going to get fined, am I? No, of course not. But this Jaffa cake can say whatever fuck he wants because I have to tell him what to do. Like, Jesus Christ, the UK is fucked when it comes to politics.
Like, I don't like.
Planet of the Apes Caesar would have better politics.
Oh, like Zamasu would have better politics.
Thanos would have better politics.
I wouldn't go that far.
Although he does get rid of the bad mortals.
Well, he gets rid of what he seems to be bad, and then all I could think about is what do you do with the people like you? You know, like the troublemakers.
I just want the Infinity Gauntlet minus the Soul Stone, you know? Because I don't want to kill something I love. I love my dog. I don't want to throw her off a fucking cliff. It's not worth it, man.
We're just imagine you, like, just grabbing, like, just a random, like, cop, like a dickhead cop, like, right, you.
And then
like,
Rascal's like,
what?
did you really love him? I'm like, oh, so much. It's like Boris Johnson being thrown off. Loved him. Look at him. Look at his hair. Oh!
but like, please,
I
everyone.
picture that so well.
I know I'm just some 24-year-old.
I'm just a guy.
Find there's
like,
more
yeah,
to the
I'm-
story.
I'm just a 24-year-old doof who just watches anime and plays games. But in a way, I have more sense than you complete morons. Not you two, of course.
That's
Like that. I don't go out there like and just smash windows and rob people, push over old people, shoot people. I'm just gonna sit here and just chill. Obviously, that's not really like great to do.
Yeah, your knees are going to pop out someday.
Oh, well.
Like I said before, Alex, it's just the fact that just people have different beliefs and all that jazz. Not saying that I'm not justifying what bad police officers do and whatnot.
Belief is smeefus. Like, just, like,
I mean, you have your beliefs too.
Beliefus
right? Of how you
deletus.
deal with bullies.
Oh, yeah, he's got you there.
wait, what?
Yeah.
What was that?
You have your beliefs about how you deal with bullies.
Oh yeah, like they should be brutally murdered.
I strongly disagree with that. But
Oh well, if we're talking big bullies, not the ones that just call you names and shit. Like the ones who like do shit like in like Carrie or something, or Stranger Things, or not Stranger Things. It.
I feel like Alex, you've just watched like a lot of Stephen King bullies, and like you just really hate them because they're like all the same archetype each book. You just have like that one guy at the knife, and they're like, "I want to carve into your tummy, fat boy."
I'm gonna do
I just
some skimming off your belly.
I just fucking materialize behind him like, no, you don't, and just like I become Pennywise for that one we seen.
But yeah, I think we'll just end it on a message of just
We stand with
please,
you.
everybody, we stand with the black
all
rights.
lives matter, but for right
All
now,
lives matter.
Black lives definitely matter because they need
And
it.
and apologies again if we said some things out of context.
I'm not
We're not
apologizing to you,
apologizing.
Boris.
We're not the sharpest tools in the shed when it comes to words and beliefs and whatnot, but in all honesty, I do hope that people stay safe, protest peacefully, and just be love, just love one another, like, just because love is kind, love is strong, and hate is stupid.
I know. Right, I don't mean to go back a track here, but I'm just wondering, right? If we, if you're ever protesting and a bunch of cops are coming at you, right? If you put all the whites to the front, do you reckon you could just walk past them then?
Actually, no, that's a funny thing you said it, actually, because there was a Twitter video of like these like black people just sitting on their knees, and there was just this line of policemen going towards them, and then there was this like white girl who ran up in front of them, put her arms out in front of her, and like protecting her, like Piccolo with Gohan. I know that's a really weird reference to do, but like yeah, that's just to get the picture in your head. And like other people started doing it as well, and it was so like moving. It was insane to like watch, just like these people like stand in front of these black people, shielding them from the police, and I was just like, yes. I was like, there is good in this world. And then it cut off then, so I don't know what happened. Something horrible could have happened afterwards, but like other than that, like that moment, like it was just that's love. Like if anyone who doesn't believe what love is, like that's love right there, you know. But yeah, I think we'll end it for this. But we went from
quite a bit
our favorite fucking movies to very political, to then slagging Boris Johnson for being a Jaffa cake.
And then Cummings, we slagged him.
He's a prick. He's a fucking dick.
Also, to be fair, Cummings isn't a bad name because Jim Cummings is the voice of Winnie the Pooh. And
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the other Cummings.
No, I know you were, but it's just when you said I thought I had a bad second name, and I could figure it was Jim Cummings, and I was like, oh.
No, he made a good name for himself. That's why his second name isn't tainted.
David Hoey.
David Hoey Bowie.
Alright, guys. We'll probably figure out a next topic to do. Probably won't be as political as this one because we said in our first podcast, we want to be more entertaining and more uplifting. It's just that this whole thing happening in the world is so important that we felt like we had to at least talk about it.
This is like just a new thing. We decided to mention it because it's just that important.
Exactly, because like I felt like if I didn't mention it in this podcast at all, I feel like I'd be slap myself in the face.
Yeah, it'd be inhuman for us to not actually kind of just to pretend that nothing's going on, you know.
And like I said before too, I will link in the description that video of the charity, and also as well, I feel like I need to do a lot of more research on the whole thing, just in case if the topic happens again, if I want to talk about it, and then I have more, I can make more sense of what I'm saying. But yeah, we've kept you here long enough, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Take care, peeps.
And until we meet again, see ya.